What's up, man?
All right, everything is good, brother. Greetings, everyone. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we get started, guys, make sure you hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe. If you are not a subscriber, hit that subscription button, hit that notification bell, and all that good stuff. Also, make sure you go to dynastymir.com and get your African ancestral religion, spirituality roll call shirt. I was at Kroger today in Atlanta off of Cascade. That's the Kroger I shop at to get groceries. And I walked in and somebody came up to me and said, man, brother, where you get your shirt from? I love your shirt. So I directed him to the site. He said, yeah, I'm going to get one. I'm going to wear it to church on Sunday to piss off the church folks. So if you guys want to piss off some church folks, get this shirt and wear it to church on Sunday. You're supposed to be all inclusive anyway. Wear it to your mosque, your church. Go ahead and wear it. Because again, we're supposed to be all inclusive anyway. Come as you are. That's what they taught us when I went to church. Come as you are. So rock your spirituality shirt, everyone. Brandy, you didn't froze up on me. Okay. There you go. You back now. You're back now. You're back. Brandon, somebody in the chat room has a question for you. They want to know, did you get your burger and fries yet? See, why we fat shaming? See now, Brandon. See, this is what I don't. This is what I hate, Brandon. Now, if we were to do the same thing to women, all right, we would be called everything in the book.
I do that to women, so I'm not tripping. But the thing is,
okay, all right.
Earlier on my show, I was saying I was trying to get a burger and fries today.
Oh, my bad. But they always, whenever you come on, they want to make fun of your weight. That's the first thing they do, Brandon. They want to make fun of your weight every time you come on. That's the first thing they want to do.
I am a jerk, Otis Rose. Thanks for mentioning that. The funny thing is this: I'm a jerk, but you're single. So tell me how that adds up. Anyway, so let's keep going.
All right, guys. So, but first of all, Brandon, you just came back from Kenya. And then there goes, hey, wifey. Hi, wifey. Tell wifey I said hello. Yeah. So there goes wifey. So Queen of Queens says she likes chunky guys.
Yeah, they all do.
They all do. So everyone hit that like button. So Brandon, you just came back from Kenya. Tell us about that. How was Kenya?
Man, this trip to Kenya was definitely unique. I learned a lot. I was actually able to I had some of my OAP group members out there with me. So I got to kind of, when you first bring somebody to the continent and they're so like, oh my God, this is awesome. And it really, one of the things that was unique was that it kind of fortified my belief in Pan-Africanism because, the people in the OAP are not dumb. They're very smart. And one of the questions they kept asking me is, Brandon, we hear all these people saying all this stuff about how Africans don't like us, and if you go to Africa, it's run by the white man. And they asked me, where did they get the motivation for that? They said because when they said we're here and we're not seeing any of this stuff that they're talking about on the internet. So it really makes you proud when you see your people like making those observations that really go against the lies and the false narratives that are spreading around on the internet and stuff like that. So that really made this particular trip very memorable. We're going to have another trip in November, and I'm sure that will be a very eye-opening trip for a lot of people who go on that one. So you don't need a yellow fever shot to go to Kenya. You don't need anything. You just go.
Just go. No visa, no nothing. You have a U.S.
You need
passport.
a visa.
But you get it on arrival, though.
No. They offer visa on arrival, but most of the airports in the States and stuff, they will ask you for a visa now. Before they did it,
you can still get it on arrival.
When I first went, I got it on arrival. I had a person get stuck in Paris last time in February because he was going to get visa on arrival, and they wouldn't let you. They wouldn't let you out of Paris without one. So just go ahead and get it. It's only like $50. Go ahead and do the application and do it just to be on the safe side. Cover all your bases.
Can you do it online? You have to actually physically mail it.
No, it ain't all that garbage with like Ghana. It's just an application online. You fill in the spaces. where you're gonna stay and all that stuff, and then you just upload it and they approve it and they email you a visa.
Okay, perfect. Shout out to Willa. Willa, thank you so much for the super chat.
East Africa is ahead of the game, man. I'm not gonna lie.
And Brandon, I did a video on this a couple years back. How it's easier to access these East African countries versus West Africa. Because East Africa, you can get visa on arrival, but I guess are do it online. These West African countries, you got to mail in your passport.
They just, you know what? They just don't want to spend the money to create the computer system to do it, or pay one of those third parties to do it for them. So they just want you to go through this whole send it in, and they're doing it old school, like 1950s or something. But you know what else? Kenya too. Good news about Kenya. You remember how everybody was saying the Chinese are running Kenya and they're going to take Kenya's port if they default on the loans and all that stuff. Well, guess what? Kenya did not. They defaulted on those loans, and China did not get their Mombasa port. China did not get it. They, I don't know what they did, but they basically gave Xi Jinping a big FU. He did not get that port. He was very pissed about it. And so Kenya is retaining the ownership and control of their Mombasa ports and all the ports. East Africa is doing their thing, man. I'm just saying, they're doing their thing.
I'm a West African cat, but that's, we'll do a show on that. We'll do another show on that. But I would say in regards to the visa process, East Africa, by far, light years ahead of West Africa. Because West Africa doesn't make any sense. Like, for example, Benin Republic, the first time I went, I had to send in banking statements.
Damn.
Oh, man, bank statements. Of course, my passport. Nigeria, the first time I went, I had to physically go to the visa office or whatever, because you have to get the consulate, you have to get biometrics done. You have to physically go. Ghana, you got to mail your passport off. The only countries in West Africa where you could get visa on arrival, Senegal and Togo. Yeah, Senegal and Togo. Well, hold on. Senegal, Togo. Senegal and Togo. That's it.
They're making it hard for you to get over there because they don't want you getting back to your roots.
Yeah, Senegal and Togo. All right, so let's get to the topic. Long stroke Kwame.
Long stroke Kwame is making a killing. He's making a killing, and I heard he even got a long stroke. Low ball.
Pause. Got to pause. Yeah. Long stroke Kwame. Pause. Making a killing. And we talked about this before. In America, you got to make six figures. You got to have six figures. You got to bring all this to the table. In Africa, these dudes don't even have running water. Barely have running water. If even that, can they flush a toilet?
No.
But they win it. And I'm not mad.
We're not putting them down. This is not really an indictment of long stroke Kwame. This is an indictment of the women who claim to be going to Africa for this strong male leadership, and they're real men out there. But then they're accepting dudes in Africa with flaws that they're rejecting dudes for in America. That's the issue. So there's a certain disingenuous nature to this whole dynamic. And, as Pan-African people, it's our job to address and call to light things that we believe will, end up being a problem going forward. So people can always deflect and, y'all hating on this and that. But listen, I grew up in Amirdynast just like you did. I know black folks. Black folks, they walk in something, it's all good. 2 years down the line, the thing that was all good, now it's a major problem, right? Now they going off on Africans because they got a baby by long stroke Kwame, and he don't got money to pay them American child support. I remember there was an incident that happened in Africa. Somebody said they had experienced domestic violence. There were people on the internet saying, why don't you call the police? It's not America, right? But Black Americans, we go places and expect for things to be like America. Or we can accept that it's not like America until we're inconvenienced. Then we start making a big fuss because it's not like America. So I just felt like it was really necessary to have a conversation, and you did too, obviously, to have this conversation about these women, saying they want one thing in America, but then they go to another place and accept something that's below their supposed standards in another geographical location. And I'm just going to ask these sisters straight up, what's the deal? Because if you ain't got six figures, if you ain't driving a Bentley around in America, she's not going to settle for you. But she goes out and get up under that Ghanaian or West African sun, and all the standards, they go out the window. You know what I'm saying? And so I asked the question, are you really going there to find you a strong Black man who could lead you? Or are you just going out there to find somebody who's financially dependent on you so you can boss them around and act masculine and punk them, and they have to accept it? Yes, baby, I love you, baby, because they want to eat every day. You feel me? Like that's what you got to ask. And I don't know if there's some sisters who will get on here.
Yeah, we're gonna open up. Listen, we'll open up the lines here in about 20 minutes. We'll open up the lines. You're more than welcome to call in. We'll love the sisters to call in just to, help make. And we're not mad at Kwame. Kwame, do your thing, Kwame. But just to help us understand, like the rationale behind, it'll be one thing if sisters were going to Africa and landing like the upper echelon of men in these countries, but they're getting these like village boys, which is fine. That's what you want. But just break that down. Like,
but that's not what they're saying they want, because a dude working at McDonald's in America is going to be able to do more for you than a village dude who's totally dependent on you. Now, if women were honest and just said, look, I just want a dude who I can just control him through finance, basically that's actually a form of domestic violence when you actually use your financial or economic power to control your mate. So if that's what they want, if they're like, I just want a dude who has to be dependent on me. You don't want a man, you want a kid. You know what I'm saying? You like a woman who let a dude live in her house and freeload and eat up all her kid food. You don't want a man. You want a subordinate, somebody who's underneath you, who you can win every argument by saying you ain't shit, get the F out of my house, right? And I'm saying that from experience with my upbringing, right? If that's what you want, right, just say that. But don't be in America acting like you up here and you ain't tolerating this and you ain't settling for that. And then you go over there and you walking around with a dude who ain't got two nickels to rub together. Like, you got to be honest with yourself to find happiness. And I think that's why, like, I literally heard a story about a chick who left her husband in Texas and her kids, got with a long stroke Kwame over in Ghana, just went over there to visit and was just like, called her husband like, you ever saw that movie Harlem Nights when the dude met Sunshine and he called his wife and honey, I ain't coming home. She basically pulled one of those on her husband and her damn kids, hooking up with some dude who was living in a mud hut in Ghana. Mm-hmm. And she was a pretty relatively successful woman, but you left your husband who you built a life with, you had kids with, for a dude who basically you got to take care of. And then I heard she couldn't even like get money to come back because like all her money she was getting, the guy was basically like, nah, you got to put it into this, what we doing right here. So like, just like they got to just make it make sense. And if it's some type of like sex tourism, because white women do the same thing. Right. Go there, get with a beach boy, pay him to beat that box up. You know what I'm saying? If it's like that, just say that so we can prepare ourselves for the fallout from that, right? And like you said, Dynast, it's a lot of people who like you don't see these women getting a dude with a Bentley or a Range Rover, because there are rich dudes over in Africa, but these women are not getting those guys. But they're claiming they're going over to find these strong men who are, running things and, got their own. But when they get there, they're just getting the guy who is like, yo, you buying food? I'm your guy, you know. But I don't understand that. So somebody gonna have to tell me what the deal is. And I got a personal story too about somebody in Kenya that I know who went to Kenya, and I feel like she actually did it the right way. You know, she held on to her standards and eventually got what she wanted.
Break that. Go ahead and expand on that story.
So I have a friend, like I was in Kenya, and a friend of mine came, and she was like, "Look, I'm single and I'm ready to mingle." You know what I'm saying? And she gave me permission to talk about this, but she was like, "I'm single and I'm ready to mingle." She went out with a guy who was a friend of mine. She came at me like, "Yo, bro, this dude's expecting me to pay for his dinner, expecting me to pay for his drinks, expecting me to pay for his food." And I was like, "Yeah, he's broke. He doesn't have any money." She was like, "Oh, hell no. The man is supposed to pay, right?" She kicked him to the curb. She went out with another dude. He was on the same thing. "Oh, I don't got no money. You know, can you pay for me? Whatever." She kicked him to the curb. She went around the city and she was like, you know, exploring and stuff. And a guy who was living in the apartment where she was getting her Airbnb, you know, they met in the hall or whatever. They started chopping it up. The dude ended up being a pretty successful guy. Took her out to dinner to a very nice restaurant. I think they went to Carnivore. Took her out.
Whoa, stop the show. I gotta go to Carnivore, bro.
Carnivore's bomb. Yeah, bomb. It's bomb.
I heard they got all just type of exotic meat, and
I got good too. It's good.
Okay, I gotta go to Carnivore.
I went there when I was just in Kenya. It's bomb. So
it's so good. It's off the chain.
Yeah, it's off the chain. It's like a Brazilian steakhouse. They walk around with the meat,
but it's all like just exotic, like
ostrich, crocodile. But they also got regular stuff, beef. And
I want the exotic stuff. Like I want the ostrich and crocodile. That's
crocodile meat is excellent.
I've had it before in LA.
Yeah, it tastes like chicken but buff, like a chicken steak.
Yeah, I got to go to Carnivore. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I think they went to Carnivore or something like that. He took her out, paid for her food, and he took her to the museum, Kenya Museum of National History. And, you know, he paid her way and paid for her food, took her out, bought her a gift. You know, she told him that she had a son. He bought her even a gift for her son. And they had a real date, you know what I'm saying? And it was like respect. And the man was being the man, right? Because she didn't just settle for the first long stroke Kwame that she met. She wasn't out there busting it open for people. She was like, nah, I want to get a man with some substance, right? So the guy took her out and did all that, and he was a guy who was like on her level, what she expected. So what I'm asking is if that woman, it took her 3 attempts, and she found a guy who was on her level, who could afford to, you know, pay her for her dinner and take her out and show her a good time. Why are we getting all these sisters going out and ending up with long stroke Kwame? It's just like it was late night and you was thirsty. This ain't no real relationship. This is just first thing I see, I'm jumping on it. And let's be real, that's what it is. Because it has to be like that. Because if this sister had 3 attempts and landed on the 3rd try, why is it hard for y'all to do that? I'm seeing these sisters running around with dudes, you know what I'm saying? And I could look at the dude 2 seconds and tell this guy can't pay for dinner. This guy's in the background wandering behind. You got people, oh, I'm here to do this and do that. You know, they might meet a guy who could give them the means to do that. They reject and disrespect him, and now they with some dude who can't do nothing for him. Like, I really want to know the mindset behind that type of operation, because at the end of the day, it just looks like you're just bringing a dysfunctional mindset from one continent to another continent. And we know what's going to happen. Once you start getting knocked up by these dudes, and these dudes don't have the money to meet your standards, then you're going to be on the internet bashing them. Just the same way women try to bash Black American men. And one of the main things my friend said when she was like seeing some of these guys want her to pay for them, I told her, I said, man, I bet Black American men don't look so bad now. She said, you're right. They look real good right about now. You know? And I was like, I was proud of her because she was keeping it real, as opposed to some of these women who I know is just keeping it real fake.
Right. Guys, hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Now, do you think a lot of this, as far as long stroke Kwame, right? Because what I'm noticing about long stroke Kwame, the type of sisters that come to Africa that they get with, if these were the local women, they would have scarlet letters on them. They wouldn't touch them. Do you think long stroke Kwame gets with these type of women in order to hopefully get a green card or passport, American passport?
Oh, I'm pretty sure, because Kwame is doing it in America right now. How many times do you hear about the Nigerian guy marrying the African American woman? She's all in love, and then it just turns out he just wanted his papers. He wanted his green card. They're at the beginning. They're at the beginning of that process, because the Nigerian guy, he actually figured out a way how to get over here. This guy ain't even figured out a way how to get over here, but he's looking at you and he's seeing an opportunity. Look at this thing by Lion King. Brandon, your American women are going to Africa looking for a rich dude. They aren't going to Africa looking for a rich dude. They just looking for masculinity, which the Continentals offer. Yeah, but can you really say that if a dude can't even provide for you? That's, being able to provide is a part of masculinity. Being able to say, baby, look, it's all good. Don't trip. I got it. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of masculinity. As a man, your number one job is to provide. Everything else, when it comes to masculinity, is subjective, right? It's like you can determine that. Some women might say that a dude is like a Kevin Samuels or something. A woman might say he's not masculine. Another woman might be like, he's a man's man. You know what I'm saying? That's subjective, right? But the thing is, being able, but I bet you Kevin Samuels can provide, though. Just like I have to provide. Just like every man has to provide. So if you stand there going to look for masculinity, that's kind of BS, because when they go and they got a dude who's like a kid who they got to take care of them, they get in a cab, they got to pay for a cab. And if they say, baby, we going to the coast, they got to pay for him to get to the coast and pay for his hotel room and buy him some clothes and all that, so he's looking presentable. That's not masculine, right? And the guy is not even masculine, because he's accepting these things from his woman without no real plan of operation or objective, to where he could say, look, babe, I don't got the money to do that, and I don't want you spending money on me for that. Let's just chill. Let's make it a blockbuster night. We'll Netflix and chill or something. No, he's right there freeloading, accepting it. Yeah, baby, let's go to the steakhouse. Yeah, baby, let's go do that. Really, he's operating like a female. You know what I'm saying? So how are they going there for masculinity and then they go there and there is masculinity there, but they're not going for that, because let's be real. The men in Africa who are truly masculine, truly able to provide, they wouldn't touch most of these women with a 10-foot pole.
All right, shout out to Snuggles668 for the super chat. You all are a-holes for using the term long stroke Kwame. Why every time I look at that, a plumbing reference comes up?
Hey man, look, we're a-holes. When African people make fun of my weight, it's cool. But if we say long stroke Kwame, we hurt. But one of the things I understand about this situation, I know a girl, she turned down a $40,000 USD job, a $40,000 a year job USD in East Africa. I'm not going to say the specific country, because she might know who I'm talking about if she's watching this. Dynast, you got watchers. People be like, I saw you on Dynast. I'll be like, wow, you watch that? So she turned down a $40,000 a year USD job in East Africa. I hit her up. Yo, you left East Africa. What happened to the job? She's like, oh, I just like I like Ghana better, right? So I'm like, all right, you turn it down. Real money, you'll be living like a queen up in East Africa for $40,000 a year. You'll be living like a queen. Go look at her Facebook. Guess what? There goes long stroke Kwame, little dreadhead skinny dude. Okay, let me go look at this dude's Facebook. See what is paper looking like. This guy's like a holistic medicine healer or some shit. And she's actually begging for money or like trying to get people to go watch his live presentations that he charges money for about holistic healing and all this stuff. Meanwhile, she's also begging for money on social media to support her project, quote unquote. We are not giving you money to take this dude out to dinner every night. We're not giving you money to buy this dude the latest Ghanaian fashion. But guys, I'm not saying this to be an asshole, but how many of us see that every day on the internet? Who turns down 40,000 US dollars a year in Africa? You could, Dynast, if you had an opportunity to make 40,000 US dollars a year in Africa, in West Africa, would you be gone or would you still be here? You'd be gone. Don't lie.
It depends where, because $40,000 in West Africa is, I mean, depending because the cost of real estate to build. I mean, but it depends on the job. There we go. It depends.
Okay, I'll tell you the job. The job was basically there's a dude out there who had a coffee farm, right? Mm-hmm. So basically, he's an American dude. He's an American dude, and basically he was just like he needs somebody to like basically like handle the administrative side. So you basically be like chilling in an office, mobbing around the coffee farm all day, just chilling, really. You know, because if he's offered it to a female, you know it ain't that strenuous as far as labor. It ain't labor. So it's some kickback. I think the guy might have probably had a little crush on her. Who knows, right? But the point is, that's 40,000, and it would seem pretty leisure. You know, this chicken don't strike me as the type who's going to just get in there, bust her butt in the office. So that kind of job where it's pretty kicked back, I'm taking that. 40,000 USD, you making way more than the locals. You know what I'm saying? And I just got to go hang out at a coffee farm all the time, like all day. But I'm taking that. I don't know about you, but I'm taking that, especially if Africa is where you really want it to be. But this chick was like, nah, I want to go to Ghana. Why? Because Long Stroke Kwame is there. That type of stuff to me just doesn't make sense. It reeks of like not only immaturity, but it reeks of like horrible decision-making ability. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I mean, we don't know what the future holds, but as far as I can see, these relationships aren't lasting. These people aren't like going all the way to marriage because we know Black American women. The minute they start feeling used, and that usually coincides with when the good D feeling wears off, right? When they get used to it. The minute they start feeling used, you're a horrible person. You're the worst guy in the world. You used them. You ain't no good. Use a dog, all that stuff. And it would be very interesting to be here in the future to see how many of these relationships devolve into that type of dynamic that we experience in the United States. You know what I'm saying?
Guys, we're going to go ahead and open up the lines. If you'd like to call in and add to the conversation, I'm going to place the link to the chat in the chat room. Again, I'm going to place the link to call in the chat room. Again, I'm going to place the link to call in the chat room. Go ahead and click on that link and call in, and you are more than welcome to add to the conversation.
Dinah's her holistic healer, and he just closed his eyes.
I mean, it's just that's like the big hustle now. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some legit, I guess, holistic healers, but it's just now, man, that's just like the big. If I'm in a conscious community and I want to hustle, you know, I'm gonna sell yoni eggs in the little bowls, you know, the little bowls thing, and I'm gonna call myself a holistic healer. You know, I've never done a day as far as learning the human anatomy. You know, no med school, no nothing. You know, courses that do deal with, you know, I guess the body or whatnot. But I'm just gonna call myself a holistic healer. That's like the new hustle now. Don't get me wrong. There are some legit holistic healers, but now it's just it's laughable now.
Golden Heart, are you saying that African men are whores? No, I'm not saying all African men are whores, but there are men in Africa, just like there's men in America, who they're just walking around. Basically, they're like D for the hire. Like even in Kenya, they have it. They call them beach boys. They go hang out in Diani, and they meet women who are tourists or men, I'm sure. And if you pause, if you got the money, they got the honey. And there's a whole industry behind that. Like you see these Europeans going out there for like sex tourism. Who you think they're going out? These women. Who you think they're going out there to see? You're basically, our women are basically going out there picking up dudes who are D for hire. Pause. Right?
Pause. No, for real.
No, for real. That's what they're doing. And they're not just, like they're not just hitting it and leaving it where it's at, where it's supposed to stay. They're picking it up and carrying it with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you mine. And now they got the little tag along Larry, and they make a video and he's in the background. Like, who the hell is that? The damn burlap shorts. Right? It's their little boyfriend. The white women got the good sense to let that dude beat up the box paws and leave his ass right on that beach where they found him. Y'all going over there looking for love in all the wrong places, right? Why? Because you go over there with what you have, which is a self-fulfilling prophecy. You go over there like, it's not me, it's Black American men. They're the problem. So then you go on the beach one day and you laid up your cellulite out, and some dude with a six-pack walk up on you, you telling yourself in your mind, I knew it wasn't me. I knew it was just those Black American men. Meanwhile, he done did the same thing to 100 different white women. He been freaking out. He been face down up in some white stuff, old, decrepit, nasty stuff, 75, 80 years old. And you thinking you done found something special. That's like me going to the strip club and thinking the stripper actually likes me. Like, come on, bro. That's called wholesale tricking. That's called wholesale.
The stripper loves me.
And let me tell you this. What are women going to say? Men do the same thing. Men go overseas, men go to Africa, and da-da-da-da. But I got to answer for that. Because it's totally different when men do that. I guarantee you. And I'll explain it to you. I'll explain to you why, too. Dinas, do you want to know why it's different for men?
Why? Go ahead.
It's different for men because of hypergamy. Men are expected to provide no matter where they are. So if a man is in America, he's expected to provide. If a man is in Africa, he's expected to provide. Our women are going to get men who can't provide. So you already know there's like a high level of dysfunction, right? Like there's a high level of dysfunction. And then, so the man goes over there, say he meets a girl, you know what I'm saying? He might not meet her on the beach, but say he does. Okay, he go take her to dinner. They go back to the Momo, he beat it up, whatever, they hanging out. What's the difference between that and meeting a woman in the United States, Dinas? You still got to pay for dinner, right?
Right.
You still expected to provide, right?
Right.
Okay, that's the difference. A man is doing what he's expected to do everywhere he goes. Even a Black woman in America, as much as they try to say we're terrible, Black men in America are terrible. If a Black woman meets a Black man in America and they go to dinner, 99% of the time, Dinas, who's paying?
The man.
Even a damn pimp is going to buy dinner for the first time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's going to buy you dinner the first time. But the man in America is, no matter what, expected to pay and provide. So when he goes to Africa and hypergamy is being practiced, right? With a man in America, if a man in America marries a woman who's broke, no one's looking down on him for that. Because they're like, yo, that's what you're supposed to do. And that's what women are supposed to do. So if he goes to Africa and marries a woman who's broke, there's no difference. Do you understand what I'm saying, Dinas?
Right.
There's no difference, right? And then another dynamic that is different is this too. You go to Africa and meet a girl. From the first day you meet that girl, she gonna be washing your drawers by hand.
Right.
Right or wrong.
fresh cooked meal. Would
Fresh,
you like
she's gonna be cooking for you.
cooking for you?
She's gonna submit immediately. First day, an African woman is gonna submit to you. If she feeling you at all, she gonna submit to you. Wash drawers by hand, cooking you meals. Shoot, within the first week, she gonna be trying to take you and meet her mama and her uncles and her daddy. Guaranteed. So when
hold on. Presley, call in. Click on the link. Presley, links in the chat room. Call in. Let's hear you mumble and all this other talk crazy. Let's hear it. Go ahead. Call in.
But already have diners don't want smoke. I don't know what that is. But anyway, so the thing is, that's you're gonna see that off rip. Now that's a huge difference from you met Longstroke Kwame, and for the first week of y'all meeting, all you've been doing is taking this dude out on excursions, taking this dude. I know one girl, she met a dude on the internet. First week, she taking this dude on safari. You know what I'm saying?
Don't hate.
I'm not hating. I ain't hating. I'm not hating. What I'm saying is that's a huge difference. Because in America, if a woman met you and you was like, baby, take me to the Mayweather fight, she gonna be looking at you like, hell no. Why would I take you anywhere? You supposed to pay for me. But they go to Africa and it's just like wholesale tricking. Can we get some of that tricking in? Can we get the level of understanding that these dudes in Africa get if our pockets is touching? You know what I'm saying? If we on the train trying to avoid the sheriff so we don't get a ticket, can we get that level of understanding from black women? If black American women approach black American men the same way they approach African men on the beach, right? I think we would have the best relationship in the universe. Right or wrong, Dynast?
Right.
Right or wrong. If they came at us with that level of understanding, because like I believe black American men are actually more genuine because we're over here like, yo, you need to submit. And the women is like, no, I ain't submitting. I want to be equal to you. We go to Africa, we like, baby, you got to submit. She like, yes, baby, whatever you want. We keeping that same energy on the continent as we have in America. Y'all changing up y'all energy. Look, I appreciate my people because a lot of people here is just, they with me. They 100 with me. It's Sunday. We got to tell the truth and shame the devil, right? So y'all with me. But we black men are keeping that same energy on the continent and it's paying off for us. Y'all going to the continent, lowering your standards, changing up your energy, and y'all really think y'all going to have success doing it. And you can already see, you just turn on YouTube and you could already see how that's not working for a lot of us a lot of women out there on the continent right now. They going to the continent dealing with the same issues that they were dealing with in America. How, Sway? Because you could change the geographical location. But if the mindset doesn't change for the better, you're going to always be carrying that same baggage. And the mindset never really changes with a lot of these black American women. They're just taking the mindset and they're going in under false pretenses, bringing the dude in. Oh yeah, anybody could be nice for a couple weeks, even a couple months. But once the infatuation phase wears off, you got issues where you got the domestic violence going on the continent. You getting into it, men over there. All because the guy's horrible. The guy's not horrible. It's you. It's you, but you was getting the same problems with men in America. Now you over, how they say if everybody has a problem with Tommy, maybe Tommy's the problem. Our women don't like to live by that truth. They're like, nah, it's not me, it's them. So what I'm saying is, this is me trying to help. You know what I'm saying? Ha ha! Don't hurt my chance. Hey, bro, if you can get that.
Bro, get your green card, bro. Get your green card,
bro. Get it. Hey, if she dumb enough to give it to you, get it. You feel me? Now, if y'all have some arrangement like, yo, we gonna pay and you help me get it, that's love. You feel me? Do that. But what I'm saying is, black women, I care about y'all. I'm married to a black woman. I have a daughter. I'm being real with you when I'm telling you. It's like my granny used to say. If it's gonna tell on you before you tell on it. My grandma used to say that, and I ain't gonna lie to you. every time I see one of these relationships on the continent break down with these women, I say, damn, that like, I'm like, that's real. That's real. Like, my grandma was 100% right when she said that, because these people aren't being honest with themselves. Yep, my daddy, a real man. That's right.
Right. So, guys, if you want to call in, the link is in the chat room. Again, the link is in the chat room. Click on that link, and that will bring you on to the panel. And you're more than welcome to add whatever you want to add to the conversation. Also, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Again, like, share, and subscribe as well. We are still rolling to Nigeria, leaving August 9th. Tour ends on the 16th for the Oshun Festival, which is August 13th. So we are still rolling to Nigeria. If you are interested in joining us in Nigeria, go to dynastyamir.com, send me a message. You're more than welcome to hop on the tour with us. And I'm still waiting on the dates for Sierra Leone for the citizenship ceremony. Once I find out, I will announce those dates, and I'll announce officially announce the tour as well for Sierra Leone. It's going to be end of November, early December. Again, end of November, early December. Those are the expected dates. I just don't know the exact dates yet, and it's already mid-July. Man, we're already halfway through the year. Golly. No, we're already halfway through the year. Somebody keeps saying we hating. We not hating. And guys, let me put this on record. The type of women that Longstroke Kwame is getting, we don't want anyway.
Don't nobody want.
Yeah, that's right. We're good. You could have Longstroke Kwame. You can have them. That are all yours. Trust me, we're good.
No, that's not even true. What you said, wife of Mzungu. Longstroke Tyrone, if you go to Africa, he can still get African women. Now, will he be responsible enough to handle the submission that they're giving him? Will he be responsible enough to, be a man about that? That's left to be seen. But let's be real. Longstroke Tyrone ain't even going to Africa. Longstroke Tyrone in America is just preying on these different women who are going after lust, as opposed to men of substance. There are still plenty of women in America who look at a dude, he got a six-pack, he got that swipe, pause, they gonna bust it open, they gonna have 3-4 kids for him, and then they gonna complain about how he's a deadbeat. So Longstroke Tyrone hasn't graduated to international travel yet. You feel me? For a man to get out of the country, he has to have some type of money. So he has to be a person with a job, some level of commitment in his mind. Brandon, my name is Tyrone. Well, I guess Tyrone don't got a long stroke, Paul. But yeah, so there's just a different dynamic, And so I really feel like a lot of Black women in America, because they're in competition with Black American men in their mind, oh snap, they try to do what we do. But y'all can't do what we do. You know what I'm saying? We're sexual beings. We be over there tearing it down. Y'all can't do that. Y'all over there getting subpar. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure it out in your mind and make it into something that's not. So that's what I'm going to let Honey touche.
All right, honey, go ahead, sweet. Go ahead.
Hey, fellas. How we doing, fellas?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good today. Hey, I ain't combed my hair today. I was looking terrible. So I hurry up. I said, give me 5-10. I'm going to hurry up and get myself together. But subpar, what do you mean subpar? American men?
Nah, hell no. Listen, I'm going to be real. If I can speak candidly for one quick second.
Go ahead.
Listen.
You know how to do that.
And I'm gonna make a hard pause after this. But from what I'm hearing, the Black American men, we the ones with the stroke. The brothers over there, they ain't even bringing it like that.
Pause, so pause. We're not Paul.
We can't say it. Oh, Dynasty, we can't talk about this.
I'm not.
Dynasty said, don't start. We're gonna start a tribal war. They're gonna be like, oh hell.
No, that's just that, I pause.
But look, so let's talk about subpar in the sense of you're not able to get the stuff you expect from a man in America, from a man over there. But you saying, oh, those are real men. I'm going over there to find my knight in shining armor, and he's gonna treat me right. You going over there, ain't no knight in shining armor. It's just a dude who's like a tag along. He's just tagging along. I don't see the knight in shining armor. I'm just not seeing it. Dynast, are you seeing it?
Honey, let me ask you a question, honey. So, okay, we got a woman on the panel. Which
a real woman.
A real woman. Now, I've been told, because again, the standards and the expectations of and the demands, what people want from Black men here in America, right, from a certain group, once they go to Africa, like those same standards are completely flushed down the toilet. So they want you have to make 6 figures here in America, but then they go to Africa and these men don't even they barely don't even have electricity or running water or a flushing toilet. Like, can you break this down, honey? Can you explain the psychology behind that?
Okay, the psychology.
My thing is, honey, like, okay, it'd be different if these women were going to Africa and getting with the upper echelon of men, African men, who can provide at a high level like they demand here in America. But when they go to Africa, these, I mean, like I said, do they have a flushing toilet, running water, electricity?
No, you didn't.
I'm dead serious.
Okay, well, this is where my perspective on it. And it's a great question, perfect question, a legitimate question. But before I jump into it, I just want to give a shout out to everybody here, the Search for Uru family. And thank you for having me again. I appreciate it, because somehow I always am willing to come on. The way I see it, sometimes
I'm talking about the echelon. Is it echelon? That's the echelon. Echelon.
Upper echelon. The
echelon.
upper. Yeah.
Upper. Did I say escalon?
Not the lower, but the upper.
What did I say, Brad? Escalon.
Your mouth was a little flicted on that one.
Yeah. Echelon.
Echelon.
Y'all don't judge me, okay? Leave me alone. Somebody called that out in the chat room. Y'all leave me alone. All right, go ahead.
Well, this is the way I see it. They're like, we're gonna get you right. We're gonna get you right, Dynast. But that's an excellent, perspective, and the psychology and ideology, that us Black women here in our culture in America, what's the old saying? I can do bad all by myself. If I'm broke in America, I can do bad all by myself. So I think for the fellas in the motherland that's got to be taught how to flush a toilet and stuff like that, I think that might be somewhat of not a bad thing. That motherly, maternal instinct in us, like, I can get this fella, I can mold him, I can shape him, I can grow him. I got the money, so maybe I can teach him and help him, and he'll be loyal to me, from that perspective.
Brandon is right. Brandon, that's what you said, Brandon, that they want to be in the position of power. So they go and find Longstroke Kwame. It's just
when I talk about women, I know I'm right. My whole family is dominated by women. I have 5 sisters. So when you got a family that's dominated by women, you will witness the highest level of dysfunction when it comes to females, because that's the general mindset of a lot of single Black American women. If I can't find the man I want, I can make the man I want. The only problem is, I don't know if any of y'all ever owned horses, right? You can buy a horse. When I was young, I bought this horse. His name was JJ. He was kind of skinny, emaciated. I bought him from a rescue, right? The guy said, man, you get this horse, you fatten him up, he gonna be the best horse you ever saw.
Right.
When that horse was skinny, man, that horse was so tame. He would let me touch him. He would let me walk him down the street. I could ride him, no problem. As soon as that sucker started eating good and got up to 1,500 pounds, that dude was out of control. Once he got strong, I still rode him and stuff, but I couldn't let nobody else ride him. When he was weak, I could put my daughter on him and everything like that. He was fine. When he got strong, he turned buck. He started being buck wild. Only I could handle it. That's the nature of men. Once a man gets strong, he's gonna get independent. Once he gets strong, he's gonna start having an opinion. It's like when you're a kid and your mom say, "Oh, you just started smelling yourself." Once you get that strength, you turn into something. You're a different animal.
You acting brand new.
You're right. So when women have that mindset, like, "Yo, I could build a man," they're not adhering to the laws of nature. Once you do build him, he's going to become a different animal. Mm-hmm. And you may not be able to handle that, right? So it's like that movie, what was it called? Something with Taraji and the dude, and he was trying to invent the thing, and she was supporting him. And then once she left him, he had success. And then she tried to come back, and he was like, "Nah, I ain't messing with you no more. You're successful." Mm-hmm. That's men. So when they go with that, I'm a build a man mindset, they don't even realize they're just setting themselves up for failure in the long term. Because even long stroke Kwame, acrimony, exactly. Even long stroke Kwame, once you invested in him, and he didn't opened up the sandal shop and the restaurant off of your money, you ain't gonna be able to keep that dude. That dude gonna want a woman who gonna submit, and you gonna be looking at yourself like you're his equal or his superior, because he wouldn't have none of that if it wasn't for you. It's the same dynamic with women in the United States. You can build them up, and if she's not a really good woman who wants to submit, she gonna tell you straight to your face, "I don't need you." You're gonna be like, "But I invested in you. I made you." Nah, I made me. I took what you gave me and made something. So they're just setting themselves up. The motherly, you can't mother no grown man now. You can't.
That's true. The man, he gonna step into his role. He gonna start to feel himself, smell himself, and then he gonna try to get out here and get a little reckless with himself. So you're right from that perspective. Also, for the ladies' defense, and I'm speaking also for myself a little bit, because I'm a horse of another color. And I too come from a background of all females. It's a lot of us, and again, for the ladies' defense, I don't know what age group all the ladies are going over there, especially if they're like millenniums or baby boomers. They, like I saw in the chat, there were like a lot of like baby boomers or older women are going over there finding them a young buck or whatever, long stroke Kwame and Kikion or whatever. But at the end of the day, there's a shortage of quality men. I think that Black women have an option to choose from here in our homeland, in America. So maybe there's a percentage of women saying, "I want to be with a man from my culture, a Black male. So maybe if I can find one in the motherland, it will be an opportunity to have a meaningful relationship and build something." Because for me, I won't say I'm picky, because I've been single since 2000. I parted ways with my junior high school. I've only been with one man. So, and I divorced and went my own way in 2002. And physically, we were still doing business in the household because we had properties, we had cars, we had built a lot together over the years. So it took me like another 24 months to purge everything and get everything separated. So in 2004, I got everything separated. 2005, I physically left. But then I had a young child at the time. He was going on 7. So I had this responsibility of this little guy with me. And nothing's better than kids. I love kids. I wanted more kids. But I was in the mindset is I have to finish my degrees. I have to figure out, how to make that money. And I kind of shut out a lot of guys, a lot of opportunities. I kind of like, speaking for myself at this point.
But that's not just you. That's a lot of women.
It is a lot.
Women. So when you say we don't have options, like I said, I got 5 sisters. I've watched my sisters shit on dudes that were good men. I watched my mother do that to several men. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? My mom was all the way married to a dude in the Navy who was a good dude. My mom won't go be Tatiana. You know what I'm saying? She didn't want to do what she had to do. Right. Left that dude. That dude is so successful now. He got all types of businesses, and his wife is rich. I run into him from time to time. But the thing, what I'm saying is, there's not a shortage of quality men. There's a shortage of the men that women feel like, well, there's the women now have a different mindset, like career over a relationship, or like you said, school over relationship, right? The dudes who are successful, they're not trying to take a backseat to your career. They're not trying to take a backseat to your education, at least not in the courtship phase. They're like, look, we 30 whatever years old. Either we gonna do this or not, right? And I understand where women want to secure something for themselves, just in case it don't work out. But the problem is you even have young women with this mindset. Oh, that dude's not cool. That dude's a nerd. This dude is a plumber. He works a trade. I want the dude who's out here getting money hustling, right? They passing up them dudes. Then once they got 3 or 4 kids, and I'm speaking from experience, once they got 3 and 4 kids by the gangbanger, now they want to try to go get the dude who's the trade dude, who's the hardworking guy. And that dude now been listening to Kevin Samuels and stuff. He like, I ain't accepting you. I don't want you no more. And then what they gonna say? It's no good men out here. No. You passed all those good men up. Women always say we mature faster than men. But then if you look at the reality, when they say there's no good men, there were good men. They were just very immature when they were approached by those men. And now they're complaining when they're 36, 37, 38, and Pookie and Ray Ray don't want them no more. And they got all their kids. Like, there's no way a woman should have 3 and 4 kids by some dude who she's not with. After the first kid, who she's never been married to, after the first kid, you should have learned your lesson. Women are very stubborn and very hard-headed, and they could fall in the ditch once, and then once you can pull them out, and they'll walk and go fall in another ditch rather than listen to you the second time. And I'm telling you, because I got 5 sisters, and that's exactly how they act.
Well, I don't know if anybody follows my Instagram on here. I did post pictures of me and my sisters and my cousins, all of us about the same age and younger. And some of them are married.
Honey,
go right ahead.
How old are you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm 52.
God damn, you look good, honey. God.
Yeah, you look younger than that.
I'm 52. I'll be 53. I love outdoors. I love love. I love.
God damn.
Yeah, I was born in 68.
God, yeah, you look. Goodness. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry for being thirsty. Go ahead.
You're the same age as my mom.
No, it's the I think what it is I'm a real kid at heart, and I love children. I love kids, and I love anybody in my environment.
Let me put something on my record, honey. I asked you how old you were. Sorry to cut you. I asked you how old you were, and you had no problem telling me. Personally, I think women who are afraid to share their age are just insecure. I don't know. It's just the weirdest shit ever. They have emotional damage issues. Like, I don't know why you don't want to tell people your age. That's just me personally.
No, because men reject women based on age. That's why a lot of them don't want to share it.
Yeah. That whole
everybody that knows me in my neighborhood, the guys, are really I guess you would say fans, because I think it's important for the younger generation, anybody 50 and under, to understand, first and foremost, to love and be happy, to love yourself, be happy. I think those are critical components. Eat organic, non-GMO. I've done that since 1995. So I think a lot of elements is don't hang on to any baggage. I've never bashed or bad talked my son's father. My son is 23 years old.
Yeah. How many kids do you have, honey?
I have one son and he's 23.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm mindful when it comes to children, because to me, children and animals are so precious and organic that they deserve everything. They deserve the best. So if you can't provide that for your children, then you must be mindful not to have a lot of children just by engaging in the activity of sex. Because to me, it's not about sex. It's about cherishing that spirit and loving that spirit and making love to that spirit and that body, and the body second, not first. So, a lot of things happen, I think, because you come out of order, but that's, my perspective. So,
right.
Yeah.
But thank you, Dynast. Thank you so much.
Me, I'm just I'm a creature of I'm a product of my environment, as we all are. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen women ruin self-sabotage, great relationships, man. I just had a friend call me when I was in Kenya. She was talking about, Brandon, I think I did it again. I said, what you do? She said, man, I had a great guy. He's a police officer. He was great. She was like, I start accusing him of cheating and video calling him, and calling him while he's at work. She just went crazy on the dude. And the dude was just like, I'm not dealing with this. And he cut her off. And because I had told her a long time ago, you got to cut that out. You running dudes off. She's 37 years old. You done found you a police officer making 6 figures, and he was in love with her. Asked her to marry him, and he's moving to Texas. Will you move with me? You know what I'm saying? And she ran him off, right? So it's like I think our women are, it's like they've gotten caught up in this certain mindset. There's a lot of distrust there from past relationships. I understand that every relationship you in and it breaks down is going to leave you with some residual trauma. You feel me? Like everybody ain't going to be like me. I've been with my wife since we was 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I don't got all that baggage. I could walk off on somebody and not even think about it. You feel me? But a lot of people aren't like that. Also, I don't got a bunch of kids running around with all these different women and stuff. So my little trust, I still have trust. I still have a big capacity for forgiveness. You feel me? You got to protect that. Like you were saying, honey, you got to protect your ability to forgive, your capacity for forgiveness, keep yourself free of trauma, avoid traumatic situations. And then that will turn into like positivity for you. You can't walk around and be like, there's no good men, and you walking around a damaged, broken vessel. You know what I'm saying? You can't hold water. So a broken glass, you know what I'm saying, can't hold no water. A broken clock is right 2 times a day, right? So even though women might say something and it might seem true, that doesn't change the fact that you're broke, that you're damaged. And men too. You might be totally right. You might listen to Kevin Samuels and because women are, and bro, you're broken. You right about that, but a broken clock is right twice a day. You still broken. So everything you said is you still damaged, even though there's some truth to some of the arguments you have. And that goes for both genders.
Right.
Somebody asked in the chat room, how old am I? I'm 39. I'll be 40 next April. I'm 39.
Good.
Obstacles to opportunities. Go ahead, bro.
Stop the cap. What's going on?
What's up?
What's going on? So shout out to Pan-Africanism Strikes Back. Much respect to the platform and everybody else. OAP all day. So, hey, I wanted to jump right into it. I kind of also just was listening for a little bit. And so there was some discrepancies. I go back to the subject, right? It's a long, what is it? Long stroke, Kwame, thinking of killing. Okay, so the discrepancy is, I've always seen that when you have people go back to the continent, there is discrepancies when it comes down to what men are doing on the continent and then what men are in America are doing wrong. When we go over here, it's this and that. And net across the board, we're all hurting, whether we're in the continent or whether we're not on the continent. So there's massive amounts of resets that need to be calibrated across the board. I heard something about building up men. Now, why would a sister go to Africa to build up an African man when she could build up her son? We need to build up our sons, our black boys who are out here being left behind, our black boys who are not competing on the level to compete with other groups across the board, net. We need to build up our brotherhood. So at the same time as I see that there's discrepancies and women want to feel like they're building up men and, I come from a strong group of women, I come from this and that, we're losing. That's the result. The end result is we're losing across the board. And we need to do some recalibration across and figure out what we can do. So men need to dress and figure out how they're going to recalibrate themselves. Shout out to KS, who did that for 3 years, telling men to pick up their pants and stop acting like fools. And then the same thing needs to happen on the other side, which Shazara Ali has been trying to do for the females. Across the board, net, both sides need some recalibration. and we actually need to figure it out. As far as going to the continent and people making up, yeah, you know, broke people, hurt people are going to be hurt, going to be taken advantage of when they come across the continent. I'm not saying that they're taken advantage of, but it's a lose-lose situation. Both parties are in a predicament, and both parties are going to try to make a move on each other from the positions in which they can get. They're going to try to get that reciprocity, right? He's going to try to get his, let's say, economic stability, and she's going to try to fill that void, or whatever the case may be. So we have to figure out how we're going to actually fix this across the board instead of pointing fingers. But like I said, that takes accountability. And do we have the capacity to be accountable for our actions? Do we have the capacity to say, hey, we need to heal, not only heal, but we need to hold each other accountable and judge each other? So shout outs to everybody. I don't want to keep rambling, but net across the board. Stop the cat and let's keep it going.
Yeah. Hey, I agree with you, BA, 100%. And what I'm doing is I'm seeing something. I have foresight, right? Because you know, I've seen this play out in America, and I'm 35. I'm not no kid. You feel me?
Right. You all do.
And I'm doing what the men of our generation before us refused to do. Mm-hmm. The men before us basically just said, hey, it ain't my problem. It ain't my business. I ain't going to speak on it. And I'm just going to let it do what it do. And that mindset got us where? We killing each other all in the streets. We got all these women running around with no babies, with all these babies with no daddies and stuff, because they didn't stick to the code that the men before them stuck to. You see a little fast-tailed girl running around, you spank her butt and send her home to her mama, take your ass home. You feel me? What you doing out here this late? You feel me? Like that. I know when I was in Africa, we were at a beach, and it was like 2 girls, and it was like 50 dudes, right? And my friend Abel, he went in the water and was told those 2 girls, like, what are y'all doing in this water with all these dudes? Take y'all ass home. And those girls got home. They just left, right? It just was not a good situation. Bunch of young dudes, 15, 16, and like just 2 girls randomly out there with them. And I'm talking about a lot of young dudes. We used to have that in America, where we kind of would gatekeep and make sure things that wasn't right wasn't going down. We don't have that anymore. So now, because like people like me, I'm an outspoken guy, I'm not afraid of anybody. People can say whatever they want about me. And I do that. I see something, I see a bad thing coming. Like I see some bull crap coming. So I'm going to speak up on it. Oh, I'm a hater and you jealous and you this and you that. And that's exactly the mindset that made the men in the generation before us not want to say anything about anybody or to call out BS situations, because they didn't want to be labeled as someone who was hating or someone who was judging somebody or whatever. And it hurt our community. So now if we're going to avoid that same mistake going forward in Africa, the place we're trying to go to get a little peace of mind and escape from the dysfunction of America, we're going to have to call things out before they get to the point where they're out of control and they've caused damage and all that stuff. Before it gets to the point where we got sisters over from here, over there, pulling, they calling dudes, oh, they dogs, they ain't no good, whoop, and all that stuff. Because you don't really have that on the continent right now. You don't have women going after men. You don't have men going after women. But it don't take long for that to catch and spread. So women, operate responsibly with your heart when you go in here looking for a mate. And I gave you an example of another woman who did it right. Mm-hmm. You gotta think. Don't make the same mess in Africa that we've made for ourselves in America. Just think before you go out here getting with long stroke Kwame, man. Damn.
Yeah, most definitely, man. And I think, of course, like our dating strategies, man, we definitely need to do some revision on our dating strategy, how we're dating each other and what we're bringing to the table when we deal with each other. And I would like to bring this up because I know this is talked about a lot, is, on the continent, I would say relatively, I don't know if you would agree, Brandon, you'll say the relationships are good, right? Good families and good gender relations, right?
Right.
Okay. So if we see that, and we know that's a trend, or that's what it is, a constant on the continent, and we don't have that in, let's say, North America, and I've been to South America, they definitely don't got that. So even if we go down there, I'm talking about Northern Brazil, Afro-Brazilians. So even if we look at that, right, and we say on the continent, they do have it, but net across the board, we're still losing. Even with that additional something like a good cohesive family and better gender relations, which I'm not saying we don't need to actually move forward towards, there's still something that we're not quite getting because we're still taking losses across the board. I heard it many times, like, oh man, the root of the nation is the family. And as that might be true, it is still something else because Africans do have good families. I would give them that, but they are still losing out on their minerals. They're still losing out on their life. They're still losing out on the future of their children. And they're still in the same predicament. And there's something else that we have to figure out, even after the element of getting our households in order on a community level and on a national level and on a regional level that we have not figured out yet. I think we need to start having more humility and start saying and speaking of losses that we're taking. If you look to China, they have the great humiliation where they say, man, we got mollywopped by them Europeans. They came in, slapped us up, slapped us down, and jacked us for everything we had. And they looked at and they understand that and they learn from that and they improve from that. Now, I think we still have yet to have that coming to ourselves and saying, damn, we messed up. We need to hold ourselves accountable and then move forward. And I think we can do that if we actually move forward in an effective and efficient way. But looking for long stroke Kwame is not going to get it done.
Hey, Brandon, somebody in the chat room, Nick Ghana, I guess the GS stands for Ghana. He said, okay, that African American women go for African men with low economic status does not mean they lack potential. What are your thoughts on that comment?
If a African American woman dates a Pookie and Ray Ray, 9 times out of 10, when you ask her why you dating this dude, she's gonna say, "Oh, he has potential." Potential doesn't put food on the table. You know what I'm saying? Potential doesn't raise a family. Potential doesn't feed your kids. Everyone has potential. Now, is this person working? Are they operating based on their potential? Or are they just like, man, I'm really good at soccer, so I go to the beach every day to play soccer? You know, I have a cousin who's NBA level talent in basketball. Does the guy go try out for the NBA? No, he goes to 24-hour fitness, plays basketball there every single day. Yeah, it's a safe bet to say he's never going to make the NBA. You know, he's 33 years old at this point. He's been doing that since he was 20, right? And since he left college. Potential doesn't mean anything. It's not talent, right? Hard work beats talent. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So are these dudes like, yo, look it, babe, I know I'm broke, but I have a business plan right here. And this is what I was planning on doing. Like, I have a friend in Kenya, and she came at me like, yo, and BA had told me about something like this too. She came at me with a whole business plan. This is what I want to do, and I just don't have the money to start it. She had it drawn up. She knew exactly where to go to get all the permits. She knew how much it cost. She knew everything. Now, if I was to go date that chick and marry her, right, or get with her, and then I say, yo, she got potential, that's her operating based on her potential. If you got a dude who's just walking down the beach with cut off shorts and no shirt, he's really great at soccer, that's not operating on potential. If you didn't meet him bouncing a damn soccer ball on his head, talking about I'm on my way to the national soccer park where all the scouts are, he can have all the potential in the world, but he's not operating based on it. You know what I'm saying? So you can kill the potential argument. It's a lot of potential. Joe Biden got potential. You see what he's doing. Everybody has potential. That is not a deal maker or breaker.
Well, like you mentioned about your cousin, and it was a basketball, I think it was. That's how I got a nephew kind of similar to that. And I'm like, why don't you just go out and coach at a high school, or see if you can get a job and coach at a college level, because you can make pretty decent salary. So there's way, or do like be a consultant. I'll train you, consult. You're a trainer, personal trainer. There's ways to hustle if you want to hustle and build on your potential.
Let me
go ahead.
Let me address this. Eyes on. You are criticizing someone in an environment without opportunity. You clearly don't understand the continent. You clearly don't understand English, because I'm not criticizing somebody based on them being in a position where they don't have opportunities. What I'm doing is telling one person who's coming from a position of unlimited opportunity, don't go to that place with limited opportunity, getting with men, when you know that eventually, once the infatuation phase wears off, you're going to be criticizing these men, right? Because they're not able to give you the life that you are accustomed to in America. You see it I know women in America. Back in the day when you went to jail, right? You had a hard time finding a job after you got out. Back in the 90s and stuff. That didn't stop black women from getting with dudes who was fresh out. You know what I'm saying? They still got with these dudes fresh out of jail. It was a beautiful relationship for 6 months, right? Right or wrong, honey?
I would have took Tupac.
But he was a rapper. But the thing, what I'm saying is, the relationship was all good for 6 months, right or wrong?
Right.
But then when that dude started getting rejected for job after job after job after job, and he was like, dude, I got to go back to the block and slang this work.
Yeah.
And you pregnant, you feel me? And he get busted again and he go back to jail. Oh man, you don't even want to be on the other end of that phone when she start telling you about how many dogs he is and he ain't no good, girl. He just a jail, go in and out of jail, and he lazy and all that stuff. There was a certain dynamic that made it hard for this dude to find a job. And though the woman understood that on day one, on day 181, it don't matter if the white man holding you down. That don't put food on the table. You feel me? You need to find a job. So what I'm saying is, black American woman, don't go to the continent, entering a kind of a similar situation where resources are limited and opportunities are very limited. Getting with dudes, getting pregnant by him, and stuff like that, paying for everything because it's sweet, right? And then when the infatuation wear off, and this dude can't, take you out to the fancy restaurant, or he can't buy you a car to drive your baby around in. Now you bashing this dude. It's called foresight. Wise people have that. I know a lot of us lack that, and we're horrible judges of character, but I'm speaking based on what I've seen and based on what I can see happening in the future. So
that's fair.
I wanted to. Oh, God.
That's fair. Go ahead, opportunity. Go ahead.
Yeah, no doubt. Also, too, I know you talked about scouting talent across the board, net. In order to be an AR, you have to be at a certain level of understanding talent. What does the voice sound like? What are the actual elements that are required in order to make a good artist? And this is probably a skill set that you build out through experience in the industry over a time period, and then somebody makes you AR. In order to be a venture capitalist, in order to spot talent, right? You actually put money to the ground. You formulated businesses before. You had ideas actually succeed and some fail, and you learned from a massive amounts of time investing your money in your own projects and other projects. And then you become a venture capitalist. And then you understand how to scout talent. We got people on a romantic basis trying to scout talent without any actual skill set and experience and understanding what it is they should be looking for in order to have or see what potential is. You see somebody and you say, oh, well, I saw potential in them. Then you're terrible at visualizing potential and knowing if it's actually going to develop or not. So this is the actual problem. The issue is just your projection of somebody's potential onto somebody else. Don't worry. I have done it many times with business partners. I have had friends where I lined them up actually at the table. We're about to close on a property, $1 million deal. And then he's gone like Donkey Kong. Now, it's my fault because I should have known, yes, he had the potential, but he was not ready and he was far from ready. So I had to learn from those experiences. And I'll end out on another point where another person said, where Brandon was just talking about the point of what's it called, environment, and don't criticize someone for their lack of opportunity. Now, Of course, you see the name, obstacles to opportunity. And one of the bad things we have as Black people in our consciousness is constantly projecting a lack of opportunity, a mind of scarcity, and not a mind of abundance. It's funny how you're in the continent, the land of abundance, but your mentality is of scarcity. Now, that would actually do what Dr. Amos Wilson says. You must be flipped inside backwards in order for Africa to be in the condition it is. And whether it's an opportunity in America, whether it's on the continent and you don't know the struggles of the continent, well, I do know one thing. The land is abundant. And I do know another thing, that all nations, even nations of scarcity, have actually had to create opportunities out of nothing. In Japan, they had to take a rock and they had to make it into something of value. And the same thing goes for the continent. You have to change your mind and your mentality and your actions and your behaviors and your skills and your duty and dedication from obstacles to opportunity. And you have to create them or die or go extinct. That is your opportunity. The world does not care if there is no opportunities in Africa. It is up to you to create the opportunities. If not, then you lose across the board. Stop the cap.
All right, Mr. Smart Guy 404, go ahead.
Yeah, what's up, bro? I'm just how y'all doing? How the panel doing? Everybody good?
Yes.
All right, cool. What I'm calling in about, you know what I'm saying? You know, Brandon, I understand the point of the post, but you know, let's not play like even though some of these African dudes in the village, you know what I mean? Because I watch Dinah's videos and I seen other people's videos. Some, you know, they may not be rich or whatever, but some of those brothers got skills. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like whether it be like, you know, construction or farming. Like some of those brothers, some of them brothers over there got skills. So I don't mean like, even though they may not be rich, but I believe if some of them was in the US, they'd probably be highly successful.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Say you go to Africa, right? And
right.
you a woman, and she live in the village, right? And she cook you a meal. She cook you some oxtails, you know, some chapatis, some good greens, whatever. And it gets to be nighttime, and the food is still in the pot, and it's still just sitting out, you know, out on the little cook stove, right?
Right.
And one day go by, and she get out to you for dinner, and it's just sitting in that pot. It's just still sitting in that pot. And 2 days go by, and it's just still sitting in that pot, just out in the open air. And she go to give it to you again. Would you feel like, yo, I'm gonna eat that food, or you gonna feel like
I wouldn't eat it after. I probably would have ate it all on the first day.
Okay, so you wouldn't eat food that's been sitting out, right?
Not for a whole day.
Okay, so let me tell you this. In Africa, most people do not refrigerate their food after they cook it. They cook it, they leave it sitting on the stove, and the next day they'll go and grab it and dump it in a bowl and either turn the fire back on and heat it up, you know, or if you got the fortune to have a microwave, they'll heat up like that. That was one.
It sounds like you making fun of their situation.
No.
You know, because you can go to Afghanistan, you can go to Iraq, you can go to Syria, you can go to a lot of countries that have that.
Listen to the point. Let me finish my point before you assume. What I'm saying is that was one of the things in Africa that I really had to get used to. There was many times when I was like, put the damn food in the refrigerator, and then it got put in there. Then the next time we cooked, the food got left out again, right? That's something that's just a part of the culture, right? They're not refrigerating food. So when you say a dude in the village got skills, you sleeping on a dude in the village who got skills. No, I've been to the village and I ain't sleeping on him. What I'm saying is, does the woman who comes from the place where you put all your food in the refrigerator after you cook it, for the woman who comes from a place where she poops in a toilet that flush, is she gonna go to the village and poop in a hole? Is she gonna go to the village and eat food that's been sitting out all night to the next day, and everybody just go in the pot and eat something like it ain't no big deal? There's no refrigeration.
Let me ask you a question though.
Wait. People can have all the skills they want to, but if there's a cultural difference that they can't get past, it will break down the relationship. So I'm not sleeping on nobody, bro. I've been to Africa. I know there's differences in cultures and the way people do things. And I'm telling these women, you might fall in love with Long Stroke Kwame, but when it gets down to the part where you're building a life together, will you be able to make the adjustment that it takes in every relationship to make sure that relationship last? That's what I'm saying.
That's
okay. So then why not just make that a post about that instead of making it seem like you hating on Long Stroke Kwame?
No,
that's what you perceive me to be doing.
No, that's fair, Mr. Smarty Guy. You got to be smart about that. That's a fair assessment on Brandon, because as a female, if I go there and he's saying, "Young lady, you can use my bathroom," and it's a big dirt hole, with a burr hole, I'm gonna have issue.
And so I understand that. I understand what he just said.
Fun, but he's pointing out is that something that a female, it will keep the relationship happy and cohesive.
When you met this dude at the beach on a resort, you at a resort, he on the beach. You don't know that that's the reality yet, right? So when you meet this dude and you in love, you don't know that. Now you might say, look, I'm down to submit to this dude. And this dude might be like, the amount of money I have or the lifestyle that I'm used to, we're living in the village. You got rich people who live, you got rich people who live in the village. You got rich people who live in the slum. And they don't see why they would pay $1,000 a month to live in a nice building or have a nice house. They like, I live in the slum, but I got a lot of money in the bank. Now you're married to this dude, and this dude got that mindset. Are you willing to make that adjustment? And that's why I'm telling these women, before you go over there falling in love, getting pregnant like our women do here by dudes, thinking, oh, it's gonna work out, right, honey? You seen them all. 8-year-old dude, 8-year-old girl, they got a baby on the way. They don't know what's gonna happen going forward. They just leaving it up to chance. Before our women go over to Africa, operating the way they do in America, they need to make sure that they know what's really going on over there. That's what I'm saying.
I don't have no problem with that. But when you first got on here, you was talking about the ones, the Black American women that's already over there that chose to be with those type of guys. You see what I'm saying? The ones that already made a choice.
Mr. Mark, I think you're missing the point. The point that me and Brandon are making. In America, the standard is up here, right? It's very high. For some reason, these same sisters, when they go to Africa, they're not getting the top tier African men. Their standards drop all the way just to the floor. And so that's the point like we're making here, Mr. Mark. I think you're missing that. Like, I don't care. I think it's hilarious. I think it's funny. We ain't hating on Long Stroke Kwame. Right. Get your green card, get your passport, get it. By all means, get it. But that's the conversation. In America, the standards are up here. In Africa, the shit just drops to the floor, but
so so Dynast, let me ask you a question. Have you ever tried to live let's just say I want to go on some hiking somewhere or try to live in the woods or something like that, and I just want, like something like that, just like hiking, try to live out in the woods or
off the grid.
You understand what I'm saying? Have you ever tried something like that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right. So if you decide to go do that and try to live and say, well, you know what, I'm gonna go all the way over here and I'm gonna do this, and this is what I like to do, and I'm gonna be happy, and I understand what I'm doing and understand what I'm getting to, and though you may not agree with it, you may not understand it, but if someone is happy doing that, then why hate? Why? I mean, if that's what that person,
we're not hating. Look, at the end of the day, what we're saying is, and what I want to tell really Black men here in America, like, don't stress yourself. Like, don't, these so-called standards that society or women put on you, don't stress yourself, because it's, these so-called standards for some reason are always changing. You know, because again, if the standard is here, why when you move it just drops to the floor? You know, and it's, to me, it's just it's crazy. And you know, again, because this is the thing, Mr. Smart Guy, there are African men, I see them all the time in Nigeria and in Ghana, who are balling,
filthy rich,
balling. In fact, I tell people this, and my Black American friends get mad. There's more money in Nigeria than Black America. I'm telling you right now. That's no cap. They're
driving around in Range Rovers.
Like, I mean, but for some reason, it's just what our sisters, a lot of them, when they get to Africa, the standard just drops to the floor. And it's like
those guys.
It'll be one thing if there weren't African men who have money, but there are. And so it's just, and I don't care. I think it's funny. Longstroke Kwame, get it? Because I mean, the women that they're getting, we don't want anyway. So Longstroke Kwame, do your thing. It's all good. But sometimes it's just, we have to have just, you know, you just sometimes have the conversation. It's open. Anybody's welcome to come on and add to it. You know, that's just the point we're making. It's like the standard is up here, but then when they get to Africa, it just drops.
Okay. Dynas, I don't mean to cut you off, but let me ask you one thing, Dynas. You talk about the standard, right?
Right.
The standard don't matter what race it is. Whether you dealing with Black women, white women, Asian women, the standard is already there. So it's just the American standard. So it don't necessarily apply to Black women, because there's videos of white women going to live with certain African guys and doing the same thing.
Right,
what you talking about?
But the point.
So what I'm saying is, in America,
let me interject. The point you're missing, though. Okay, these white women that go and do that, it lasts maybe a year, 2 years at the most, and then they're up and gone, and they dip back to Europe. That's the point you're missing. Like, this stuff doesn't last permanently. The women get tired, they get tired, they get disgruntled, and they leave. That's the point you're missing.
I never.
The Black women. Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I never seen the video of, you know, European women coming on and saying European men are whack, and I decided to get with Kwame, and these guys are whack over in Europe. And I never seen that. If they do usually go down there, they just go down there and do what they do, and they probably work in an NGO, and it is what it is. But they don't never come back to the society of their nation and go back and say, well, hey, the men in Europe could not compete, so I decided to go with Kwame. It's not that
that's a different culture.
Back. Exactly. Yeah, but nevertheless, let's
and you're dealing with apples and oranges on that, because women from Europe, they come from a different culture. If they're from Switzerland, any parts of Europe where they may not have the same culture as Black women, African American women. You know, we have a different culture. We approach things differently. Everybody has different lives.
Yeah. But I was just trying to get to the part. One was just being non-constructive. So, anyways, if you go to the continent too, and so bringing up the situation is, I don't think it should be a situation where we're like, hey, don't worry about it. I think we just need to offer good information and say, when you go to the continent and you do make choices, if you made bad choices with partners in America, it's not going to change if you go to the continent. And the difference between the continent is there is no state support. There is no government that's going to help you out for your kid if your father ends up leaving you. There is no state that's going to actually give you money to actually help you in your Section 8. You're really going to have to get it from the mud, like African women have to do if they find themselves in the same situation with a Kwame who's not going to take care of business. So if they were making those miscalculations, then we would authorize, or we would actually add into the conversation and say, be careful and be aware about if you choose the wrong partner, and if you don't wisely choose, and you solely choose on potential. Because in America, if you could choose on potential, and if it don't pan out, the government's going to be there in some shape, form, or fashion. But if you choose in potential on the continent, and it doesn't pan out, it will be really from the mud that you have to get it. You might have to actually vacate Africa and go back to the continent. So I think that's just, hey, watch your partner, watch who you're picking, and watch yourself when you go back to the continent, not just for the circumstances of, hey, don't take advantage of Kwame or Kwame take advantage of you. But once again, there's healing that needs to be done net across the board, period. Because like I said, remember we talked about it before Pan-African Strikes Back? We talk about some people go back to the continent to be nationalists. Some people go back to actually develop Africa. And some people will go back for political refugees, meaning that they're running away and escaping. They're not really meant to do anything in Africa, like build it up in a foundational way. Like, yeah, I'm about to build 20 schools and 20 science laboratories. Nah, that's not. They're really just trying to escape from, let's say, economic or educational oppression. So they go back, and the same thing goes for romance. They're just going back to escape from the dysfunction in America, men and women too. So when they go back, they must heal, because we don't want them to actually put that on to African society. And next thing you know, man, Kwame ain't shit never. They ain't got no good African men, and we don't want that, or good African women there. So we got to make sure that we actually heal to actually be able to receive that love and that good partnership.
And BA, one of the things you didn't mention too, some people run to Africa to run away from bad situations that they've created for themselves in America. We can't eliminate that. When I go to see me, when I look at this situation, I have a happy life in America. Like, I have a wife that I've been married to for a long time, and I love her, and she's amazing, right? So when I go, I got a different lens than somebody who coming out of a messed up relationship that fell apart, or someone who's carrying all this trauma surrounding relationships and romance. So I can see it clear. And all I'm saying is, when you go there, be responsible, so you don't end up with the same type of toxic environment there as you do here. I know my people. We can do a lot of damage real fast with our damn mouth.
Man, dude, tell me about it. Good.
With Black Americans' mouth, the Bible says the tongue can be sharper than a two-edged sword, right? It can cut you straight to the heart. We got a very strong tongue, and we could do a lot of damage with what we say. That's why back in slavery, they put that thing in your damn mouth, because we have a lot of power in our words. I could say 5 words and get every African on this panel enraged beyond enraged, and I'll be just laughing like it ain't no big deal. It happens all the time. So you can't go to the continent being all reckless with your relationship choices, right? And then when it don't work out, you on YouTube bashing folks. He this and that, because you don't even understand the culture. Oh, he tried to take me to the village and wanted me to live in a mud hut, and we didn't have electricity. This nigga, and their culture's looking like, well, that ain't. So you're saying you're too good for our culture? You too good for what he was able to provide for you? And now you start a big old a mess going on. So what I'm saying is, when you go to the continent, you can say anything you want to, Mr. Smart Guy. I don't even think you ever been to Africa, but you can say whatever. But when you get on the ground and you start understanding that there's 2 different cultures, and when cultures come together, there has to be understanding so that it doesn't devolve into chaos, then you'll see what I'm trying to get at with these relationships. So I'm telling these people, if they really out here looking for love in Africa, right? If they really leave in America because they want to find that guy in Africa, they need to understand it's a cultural difference. Don't go over there with your wallet open. Here, baby, I'll pay for this and pay for that and pay for that, because eventually what's going to happen? It's going to devolve. And I'm not going to say no names, but we just had a situation just like that in our own YouTube community, where it was just like a cultural difference that led to a bunch of bull crap, right? We just saw that. But our people, what are we? We got a horrible short-term memory. We can see something happen. We walked 5 steps down the road. We totally forget that it happened. But I know it happened. Everybody on here knows exactly what I'm talking about. But we going to sit up here and act dumb like Brandon's just talking out of his butt. He's just talking about stuff that ain't even real. No, we just saw it. And if that mindset keeps going to Africa, you're going to begin to see more and more cases like that. Like in Africa, if a man slap you, the police ain't coming to take him to jail. There's a lot of women who don't understand that. But they talk about Brandon hating, go get slapped. Go call 911. See who come get you. Nobody. Don't tell me. I know. I've seen it happen. So I'm warning you. But a fool rejects correction. You know what I'm saying? That in a fool hang around fool. If you hang around fools, you're gonna become a fool. That's what we like to do. We like to hang around fools because fools give us bull crap validation. False
validation. Brandon. Let me get a Black Beauty. Go ahead.
Black Beauty.
Doing, what's up?
What's up?
I just wanted to come in and just chat with y'all because I don't want to really say specifically about Africa, but you know I'm West Indian, so I done been all over the world. And, you know, I've been to Africa one time with you. So to be honest with you, I'm not going to say it's an Africa thing, but I think it's a lack of self-esteem in Black women. Where for me, I dated when I was in Sierra Leone. I dated some broke dudes. I dated some rich dudes. And to be honest with you, what I will say is this. I'll say like there's a lack of self-esteem because women go and they drop their whole game plan. Like I do the same thing I was doing. If I go to Barbados, I do it the same way. If I go to Sierra Leone, I do it the same way. If I go to Nigeria, I go do the same thing. If I'm in Brooklyn, I'm the same way. If I'm in Miami, I'm the same way, which means my standards are my standards. They don't change based on continent. And I think that there's a lot of women in our community that simply don't know what dating is. They perceive dating to be, and I also think that there are a lot of African men who don't know what dating is. What I found when I was dating in Sierra Leone was that certain men who really, really liked me, they laid claims to me just because they took me on one date. You took me to Labundo, so now all of a sudden I'm your girl. So I'm out in the street with the next man, and this man's friends are like, oh, that I see you with this man. Oh, you was with my friend last night. But listen, your friend and I are not together. He took me on a date, and I'm not going to give him everything he asked for just because he took me out. So I think there's a concept of dating that's lacking in our community in general, amongst the diaspora. Dating is not necessarily a commitment to you. Just because I come with you to Gigi Bonta doesn't mean I have to be with you. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, I had a guy from GTB Bank so furious at me because I didn't pick up my phone call. But I just went out with you last night. I'm sorry, I didn't know we were in a relationship. And then I looked upon his left hand and it looked like he married. I want to understand what's going on here. So that's what I'm trying to say. I think that we as women, we can date when we go across the sea. In any continent we can date. But just don't change your strategy because it's Africa. Like, if anything, make him work harder. Make him work harder. Like, you know, he's
100% accurate. You 100% right.
You know, I'm not trying to say it like that because I did. So let me tell you, the one guy that I liked the most, the one that took me out the most, he picked me up the most, the best car, sexiest, young, just like me. He has a ring on his finger. I asked him about it and he bold-faced lied to me. And I know for a fact he's married. You look at him, he's too good. He's a top-level executive at GTB. He's too good. He's too good. I know he's married. Ladies, if I this Mandi Punani, that would be a mistake. You guys have to move more militant, more strategic. I'm not to say that I haven't enjoyed other men there, but it's like, all right, if I'm going to play, then I go play with someone worth playing with. But when it comes to like the major African men that I met, there was a certain way to go about them. So the guy that just wrote 2 weeks ago, I had a civil engineer from Sierra Leone write my recommendation for citizenship. He's married, but he's not had sex with me and he's not going to have sex with me. And he knows this. You know, he's asked me to be his commercial real estate agent. He's my damn near my father's age, but he's very nice abs. He swims. I met him at the hotel. He swims at the hotel every day. And
some African men will tell you they married straight up. I'm married. I've been married 10 years.
Because he's from the UK. He's a Sierra Leonean that's from the UK. He was just very honest. He's like, my daughter's 4 years older than you. I was like, damn, I don't know. But he gave me my recommendation. So even though he wasn't someone that I had sex with, or he does take me out, he's asked me to be a part of his professional group. So I've benefited in some ways. It's not to say that he's going to be my man, but he's someone I can trust to take care of me when I'm out there. And I think it's good too. So women need to figure out different pockets to put men in.
He's your sugar daddy.
No, he's not. Use him. I don't. He's a good man. He's a very, very good man, and I don't abuse him. He's honest with me. He told me this the first night. He was like, you know, so crazy because I really enjoy spending time with you, but you know I'm married. I'm like, I didn't know that. I didn't. He maybe had been divorced. He was older, so I figured, okay, he's back in Sierra Leone. Maybe he's divorced. No, his wife is literally. But you know, he did tell me when I go back that in his apartment complex, there's an apartment that I can rent out. It's not exactly his, but you know, I'm sure he'll pay it for me. It's cheap.
Right.
So for me, I think
that's a sugar daddy.
No, he's not a sugar daddy. I'm not giving him no.
That is a simp.
It's a simp, for real.
Yeah, I was about to say, man. I'm trying to sympathize on this.
I'm a simp sugar daddy.
I will say this: African men, when it comes to African men, when it comes to diaspora women, are the biggest simps I've ever seen in my life. But it's nothing wrong. Hey, I'm not hating. Do your thing, Black Beauty. Get it. Get it.
Like, oh, I get it. There was not one African woman in that place at the table. They were serving, and I felt bad. I looked around and I said, these African women should not really be serving. They should be at these tables. I said,
Black Beauty, but at least you're keeping it.
Another gentleman took me on a date at Lagunda, and you want to? Oh, let me tell you guys about this date. The date.
All right, share the date. Then we got Simp Police on. I want to get. I want to get smart. Go ahead, Black Beauty.
This is a different gentleman. This is a gentleman. He's friends with one of the people that went on the tour with us. Actually, he's a Muslim man. He's nice. He tried to take out another person on the tour, but I guess she didn't want to go out with him. So I said, you know, I could go out with him, see what he's about. So he took me out to Lagunda. I didn't know that he knew everybody there. Come to the end of the night, the man can't pay the bill. He has to speak to the man in the front about credit or something. I look at this man like, I'm not going to Gambia with you. You crazy. You're crazy.
All right, Simp Police, go ahead, brother. Simp Police, unmute yourself.
Man, listen, man.
Simp Police, I gotta do you like I used to do Lou Major back in the day.
Oh my God, I gotta get a disclaimer. I gotta get a disclaimer.
You gotta get a disclaimer, bro. God, Simp Police, disclaimer, bro. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to say quickly, cheers to Princess Black Beauty. Cheers. I like how she's moving.
Go ahead, Simp Police. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You know, it always shocked me. First of all, shout out to you, Mr. Dynast, man. Shout out to this topic. You know, this is one of those topics that Black female hates, and a lot of brothers that's raised up by single Black women, they hate this conversation too, because you know what I'm saying, they see they mama in situations like this, and because you know mama can't do no wrong, you know what I'm saying, even though she's wrong, they'll come up and try to take up for her, you get what I'm saying, even though she's dead ass wrong. But see, that's that dysfunction that we have in the Black community, because we have one of the stupidest quotes of any rapper that ever said that even though she's a crack fiend, she's a Black queen. That's a goddamn lie. Your mama is a crack fiend, and what crackheads do, what female crackheads do is fuck for $20 or $30. Hold on. Let me all I said was hold on. All I said was fuck.
Don't say curse words.
I don't curse. Don't curse.
You're gonna get Dynast video demonetized.
You can't say the F word.
Okay, don't say the F word. But you know what I'm saying, I work off a food industry, and I see nothing but crackheads out here that got 3 or 4 kids by 6 or 7 baby daddies, and they out here busting it open for $20 or $30. You get what I'm saying? So, but the thing about it is, certain men, you get what I'm saying, when they raised up by single women, they get indoctrinated, because most Black women are dictators in their home. So by that definition, they're wrong. They're right, even if they're wrong, because they feeding you, because they're clothing you. You get what I'm saying? And most of the Black men that has those type of mothers, the dad ain't nowhere in the picture, because she banged them up at the strip club in the parking lot, raw dog, after the 3rd song. You get what I'm saying? So they don't even know their father. So all they know how to do is lie, steal, cheat, kill for their mama. You get what I'm saying? So let's just start that off with that. You get what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to the black female that goes over there to Africa, the problem with that is that in America, because I have my daughter, my daughter's in college. My daughter knows I don't play that shit at all about no type of weak trick buster from Augusta. You get what I'm saying? No man that's trying to go somewhere. See, even her, I'm gonna use my own daughter, because a lot of people always say I generalize black females, so I use my own daughter. You know what I'm saying? My daughter introduced me to a guy that was in Kappa's Alpha Psi, one of those.
What's wrong with the dupes? Hold on, what's wrong with the dupes?
No. This is the thing. You got to wait for the kicker, man. You got to wait for the kicker. You get what I'm saying? See, it was nothing wrong with that guy. That guy talked good. He dressed good. He even offered to pay for dinner. I paid for the food at the dinner. But then, come to find out, by me being a truck driver, so I actually happened to be in the area where my daughter college was by 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And in this small town, the only thing in the city was a Denny's. And it's open 24/7. So it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I see my daughter in there with a head full of strangers, half from other countries, and goddamn spider leg eyelashes on her eyes. You know what I'm saying? With her friends, with somebody else. So when I see her, so when I come over here, she sink down in the seat like I don't see her ass. You know what I'm saying? So when I go up to her, you know what I'm saying? The guy was like, hey, how you doing? I said, is this ain't the same guy you introduced me to? She like, oh no, this is and I told the guy and all of them just to get up and leave. You know what I'm saying? And I grabbed her and I talked to her, I pulled her to the side. I asked her, I said, now why would you introduce me to the guy that's going somewhere? But this guy right here is the guy, you know what I'm saying, that you don't tell me about. So I asked her, I said, can you show me his Instagram page? It ain't nothing but him riding 4-wheelers all through Atlanta with a gun in his pants, a whole bunch of swag, a whole bunch of 6-packs. You get what I'm saying? And tight t-shirts. You get what I'm saying? And the funny part is, see, this is the funny part. Her mama knew about it. See, her mama okayed that type of behavior. But see, she had to hide that from her dad. See, that is the main problem with what's going on. See, that high standard that y'all was talking about earlier, that is the popular trend right now, to be like, if he ain't 6 figures, if he ain't doing this, if he ain't paying all the bills, that's just what a lot of females are yelling. But see, females are not yelling that in Africa. So therefore, the women, when they come over there, they ain't got nobody over there telling them, hey, find the dude that got a Lamborghini and the Porsche. So actually, that gives the women time to settle down. You know what I'm saying? So now they'll take long stroke crazy, you get what I'm saying, at the beach. That is what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So the standard is up because the population up. And the last thing before I go to the before I give it the mic back, I asked my daughter simple. I said, which city girl you want to be like? The one that's in jail or the one that's pregnant? Because they all get on the rap and social media and talk about they are almost cracked. Bumper man, men ain't nothing, whatever, but each one of them looking for that. They having all these mother kids and they got money to support themselves. You get what I'm saying? But the problem is that black women support that type of hood booger, gutter monkey, Southeast DC, uppity twerk monkey, husky hyena, whole bunch of weave, a whole bunch of Jesus lifestyle. You get what I'm saying? As long as they're the majority on social media, they're the majority in the Democratic plantation. They're the majority in the churches. They're the majority at the defects office. They're the majority at the welfare office. You get what I'm saying? So that's who they're gonna listen to. And a lot of these old chicks, they're the ones that's boosting them up, because it's always an old chick trying to compete with a young chick. So you never see an old dude trying to compete with a young dude. We know that we're lost. We know that we're outdated. But it's always an old chick trying to prove she still got it to a 28-year-old, to a 25-year-old.
Hustle smart. I I want to say something about what you said about the standard.
But Brandon, the Hustle Smart is flowing right now. Let him finish. Go ahead, Hustle Smart.
I'd be terrified.
Hold on, Brandon. Hold on. Let him finish. Hustle Smart, go ahead. Finish your thought.
You know, I mean, I'm cooking that ugusi soup right now, man. It's extra spicy. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna come out hot when you take a shit, but right now it's extra spicy. See, the thing about it is the thing about it of the women, they're competing against the younger women. So you got these older women that try to tell the younger women that no, you go out there and you have 3 or 4 kids by 12 dudes. You know what I'm saying? As long as they paying you, you good. When you get older, it's gonna be somebody for you. Because one thing about black women, they don't understand logic. It's more women than it is men. So if you let anybody tell you that it's a man for every woman, you deserve to be sold a swimming pool behind South DeKalb Mall. My fault, aka Thought DeKalb Mall. My fault, aka Thought Greenbrier. My fault, aka Thought Lennox Mall. You get what I'm saying? Women go for that shit because women love to be told something. You can tell a woman a goddamn lie and they'll go for it. Like that lady, when they were just talking before me, she said that she asked the guy was she married and she knew he was married. See, men, we're logical. We're not gonna ask no question that we already know. You know what I'm saying? We don't feel like we're gonna be in a situation where I got you, bitch. I got you. We don't play like that. You get what I'm saying? So what we know is what we know, and we leave for what we don't know for something that we do know. But a female will be in a situation will let a dude lie to him because I don't know if it's dopamine or whatever is going on in their brain that they will allow somebody to sugarcoat a situation. Somebody can pee on a female back and tell it's lemonade, and she'll be like, good Lord, bring the Subway sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Let's eat. Let's have a picnic. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, at the end of the day, even though females have the loudest voice, men sit back and say, everywhere I go, I could go in a Dollar General and see the finest chick I ever seen in my life. I could go to the Quick Trip and see the finest girl I see in my life. I could go to Walmart and see the finest girl in my life. And it's 12-1 everywhere I go. So if females sitting around walking around like they're the prize, and it's 12-20 to every one man, then they deserve everything they get. They need to lay themselves down on the altar and get ready for the slaughter. So I don't blame these females for going over there to Africa, you know what I'm saying, with their stomachs out of place like they've been fighting 12 tigers with stretch marks all the way down to their ankles, wearing leggings, pulling it together so it won't expand like a balloon. I ain't got no problem with that. But you better get ready to start being the trick mama. Now you're the sugar mama. You get what I'm saying? Because it ain't, you know, some simps over there, because when American women come over there, it's new. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing better than new, but when you realize that this chick got all these kids, and when she come up out them leggings, some of it go to Nigeria and some of it go to Ghana, and you feel like, man, she look better with her clothes on. You know what I'm saying? See, that's what we deal with in America. We deal with hypersexual, you know what I'm saying? And we the only group of people that think a chick with obese kneecaps, thighs scrubbing, knees knocking, we think that's fine. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I stand on that, man. Go ahead and clarify that for me, Brandon.
God damn.
There's not enough clarity on earth to clarify what you just said. You said the kneecaps, fat kneecaps. I ain't gonna lie, I've seen a couple, man. But don't you think that women, like, I believe this about women. I believe women set unrealistic standards to give them an excuse to date men who are just ain't shit, right? Yeah. Like, you'll have the same girl who's like, I want to do who makes 6 figures. I want to do who got a good job and he makes all this money, right? Okay, well, she's gonna have a hard time running into that dude, right? So in the meantime, I'm gonna date the dude who ain't got no job. I'm gonna date the dude who's flocking for a living, right? And what she's saying is, oh yeah, I'm not really gonna be with that dude. That's just a dude I have fun with because I'm just waiting for my six figure Steven to come along. And what it is just BS. It's just a BS standard that they never really plan on achieving, but it keeps you off their back. That's the thing about women. Women just don't want you to call them out on their BS. That's like a woman. When you tell a woman about herself, that's one of the most painful things for a woman, because women are taught from the time they're young, oh, you're a princess, and pursue her. She believes that she can do no wrong. So when you really hold her accountable and say, well, look, here's the situation, and this is what you're doing, and this is why you're going through this, they shut down. They don't hear that. Oh, you weird. Get out my face. I told a girl who was 19 years old. I said, you need to really try to mature. You have 2 kids. You're 19. She told me straight to my face, I'm 19 years old. Don't tell me nothing about maturity. I'm still young. I'm living my life. But she got 2 kids. See what I'm saying? So that's just the way they are in America. But getting back to the point, just don't take that mindset to Africa with you, because you let's be real. You're playing with those dudes. You're not really planning on submitting to those dudes. You're not serious about them dudes. That's like me going to Africa, having a bunch of kids by a bunch of women and talking about, yeah, I just want to have a big family. But in reality, I'm just going to hop on a plane and go back to America anytime I want to. I'm on a 3-month visa. Things get tough, I could just dip out. You ain't out there serious with them dudes. You are out there playing with them dudes. But the difference between you and the white woman, even though y'all share the same culture, is the white woman goes out there, she go mess with long stroke Kwame, and then she just go home a week later. She planned her trip 2 weeks. I'm gonna mess with him. I might mess with another dude, and I'm going home. You get out there, you haven't had acceptance from a man, or you haven't ran into a man who's willing to submit to you, right? Because back in the States, you got a little money, but you really ain't got 2 nickels to rub together. So you get over there, and the guy's simping. He's like Black Beauty was talking about, all them dudes took her here and took her there. That's her standard, right? Me, I'm smashing before I take you to dinner. Period. That's my standard. Right. So she can find dudes to do that in America, right? But she could find dudes to do that in Africa too, right? But guess what? She has a standard set up here, and she's not gonna. She did hang with some poor dudes, but she's like, I'm not committing to this dude. I'm making it clear I'm not committed to this dude. You get the broke dude, and he's tagging along like you got a damn leash on the dude. Like, you ain't just hitting and quitting it, being a true player. You got this dude in your YouTube videos. You got this dude tagging along everywhere you go. We know this dude on a first name basis. What? That's ridiculous. And you telling me that that's true love and all that stuff. Black woman, I know you. You're real vicious. You vicious like a man. This is just the way we are, right? Don't try to pee on our head and tell us it's rain. You over there playing with them dudes. You got you a dude who going, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, whatever you want. And you like it, and you're going to play with it for a while, then you're going to leave it alone. How do I know? Because we do that with women in America. You guys are black men in America, just in Africa. But y'all operate like black men in America. In Africa.
Okay.
When you get up, you gone.
Let me chime in on that real quick. Let me chime in on all this madness. All right, Brian, what you got to say, the last words out there?
Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to, even the playing field from my perspective, in regards to long strokes and stroking Kwame. It depends on the quality of woman. And I'm not stroking, I'm not hitting, I'm not looking for none of that, because to me, the flesh world comes second to a quality human being to come into, my life, or a female that wants a quality relationship. I don't believe that people need to be smashing, hitting, and having a bunch of children because they were just randomly and irresponsibly having, random acts of sex. So for me, I hold a person's body in high regards. And to me, the goal is to touch their spirit and their soul, and to have something meaningful to build besides something to just hit it and go about it, which is to me very a simple human being. You got to be in a simple place to act and behave in such a reckless manner. And to take that, to Africa is unfair to Africa and to ourselves. So some of these ladies out here that's doing that should, if they want a higher standard man, they should also behave and act in a higher standards as well.
True.
Because to me, I think it's only healthy to have one man. You don't want Tom, Dick, and Harry and Kwame and all these slingers stroking slingers. And then when you do finally get a quality man, he's got all these dudes that's been there and done that with that lady. That's not a clean temple. That's not a clean home for him to rest his head.
Don't go to Africa. Don't go to Africa. Don't go to Africa, honey.
Oh, it definitely ain't.
Go Kwame, because that's the only dude in Africa gonna be talking about clean temples and all that stuff. You get you a dude who's successful, he gonna be like, "What time is dinner ready? Did you wash my clothes? Did you do this? Did you do that?" Those dudes are like, it's patriarchy. It's true patriarchy. They're not trying to hear that. They're talking about, did you do everything that you were supposed to do today? And I'm going to come home and I'm going to eat my food and we're going to go in the bedroom. I'm going to go to sleep and wake up and do it again tomorrow. That's it.
Bad order.
Stuff, you're going to be with the dude. You're going to be sleeping on the beach with this dude because that's going to be where he live at. And y'all going to be sitting there breaking down the mysteries of the spirit world. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing, but that's the exact type of mindset that kind of got a lot of the women from here going over there in the situation they're in, because the beach boys are kind of like the ones who entertain that type of metaphysical stuff. The dudes who are high value, this dude's driving a Range Rover. He ain't worried about. He's like, if he want to cleanse it, he'll eat a bran muffin, as Damon Wayans said in the movie, right? So I'm just being real with you, and that's it. We just got to be real about our situation.
Hey, what's up? We covering all bases then.
Hey, Miss, let me ask you a question though. I appreciate everything you just said. You get what I'm saying? But I want to ask you a straight up question, because see, a lot of times you get females that they don't be honest when they generalize females. You know what I'm saying? Now me, when I generalize females, it sounds harsh, but I go with the odds. I go with the majority. So by what you just said and what females should be looking for and what they shouldn't want, or they shouldn't want Deontay and Jamarquavius jumping in and out, tag teaming on them, you know what I'm saying, after the strip club. So how many women do you think, just average woman, thinks the way you think?
Mr. Simple Academy, Mr. Academy, I'm speaking, I guess, I don't know the actual percentage or the numbers or the millions of Black women and how it breaks down. But with me coming from, the 90s, I'm kind of like Chili from TLC. I have a quality and standard and a governship where I got nieces now. I got nieces that's 30 and under, that in that age group, they tend to do things that I think that is, to me, a bit unethical and a bit questionable. And pretty much how your daughter was moving with the fella at the Denny's.
Mr. Four-Wheelers.
Yeah, Mr. Four-Wheeler.
Ain't nothing wrong with four-wheelers and guns. Stop hating, man.
But see that, but you can tell.
I love me some four-wheelers, dirt bikes.
How is that hating? How is that hating, brother?
Let her finish her point. Let her finish her point.
Good Lord, she's sitting up here trying to tell you that her nieces are some super ultra mega thoughts. Let her continue.
Goddamn. Let her finish.
I was talking to your simp ass, man.
Let her finish. Don't start. Let her finish, man.
No, you can't talk to me, little boy.
Okay, let her finish. Tough guys.
Thanks, Brandon. I appreciate you. Thank you, fellas. I can understand why they going at it. It makes
continue.
Sense.
Oh no, we're not going at it. Go ahead though. Continue.
But it just, I think that the moral fibers, and if you're having children and you're a child raising children, sometimes we can get lost. And I think the newer generation, and specifically St. Police Academy stated how many. I can't state how many or the majority, because I honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know. But watching, World Star Hip Hop and seeing the culture clown, as one platform where it shows how people are just out here, just totally all over the place. For me, I think it's important for these young ladies to know that you got to have some self-regard, self-dignity. You got to be a lady that is a lady.
That ain't the new generation, honey, because my
That
mom,
ain't the new generation.
my mom was your age, and my mom was straight thoughting it up. So that ain't no new generation.
That ain't the new generation.
This for decades now. Y'all been doing
Yeah.
My mom ain't no thought.
No, I'm saying my mom. My mom is your age. My mom is your age. So what I'm saying, my mom is your exact same age. And my mom had me and my other 4 brothers and sisters, right? And I told you how she was rolling. So it's not just a new generation. Y'all literally, not you, but your groom these chicks to be this way. They groom them to be this way. So you can't be like, it's a new generation. I actually think the women of this new generation have more accountability than the women of the generation before.
Right.
Because at least they go sell a butt on the internet for money, whereas the women before could just depend on welfare. But Bill Clinton stopped all that. So they like, I got to go get it out the mud. So I think the new generation has more accountability, but they are wrestling with the baggage of what the generation before them taught them that didn't hold up as time went on. It didn't survive the test of time.
Fact. Because I've seen some of them old videos when them men used to just slapping shorties in the behind. And I'll be like, God dang, ain't that sexual harassment? Nope, it was just buck wild back then.
Right.
They got down.
Yeah.
Uncle Luke came on, and just get the pat. Like, God dang.
Honey, that was your generation right there.
I mean, they were sliding credit cards down butt cheeks. You get what I'm saying? Like this been going down since Nelly was popular. See, the thing about it is camera phones have gotten attention. Like when I had my first camera back in the day, people didn't like to take pictures and you wouldn't put people on videos. You get what I'm saying? Like people will just, I have been with females, they'll be like, oh, okay, you got the new iPhone, let me take these pictures. Let me do this. Let me record myself. Like that's what I'm saying. It's the people. More females now are more hypersexual to the point that nothing is no shame in it no more. See, it's no shame in walking around naked, showing your public house. You get what I'm saying? Like these women are running around with negligees on, with tennis shoes on, and walking around in Walmart.
Simply, I'm gonna push back on you on that point. I'm gonna push back on you because the women now are more radicalized along the lines of feminism. So, like, you can't even say too much to a female now without her saying you sexually assaulted her. What you're looking at is the last remnants of the generation before them, where the women were like okay with being objectified. Back in the day, women were okay. Magic City was way better in 2010 than it is today. You feel me?
Definitely.
Clubs were better in 1999 than they are today. So what you're seeing, the little hood boogers and all that you call them, those are the remnants. Those are the ones who didn't get the memo. They was in the projects with their mama who was teaching them how to thought it up. But while the other women was in school getting radicalized along the lines of feminism. So I don't think that women are getting more thoughty. I think women are getting more unbearable. They think they want more that they don't even want. But as far as like being as like the women in the 90s, hell no. I even brought up Uncle Luke. You don't see nothing like that now. You don't see no girls going wild nowadays. You don't see that. Why? Because the women now are kind of like, they look at that like that's degrading and all this stuff because they want to be like men. They want to have that like machismo where they don't like expose themselves, right? Men back in the day had an issue with exposing skin. When you had no skin exposed, that was more masculine. Women now are masculine. That's why you see women, I'm not wearing that and I'm not wearing this. And they're also more selective.
Hey, Brandon, I gotta disagree with you on that.
Yeah, I disagree with that all the
way. Brandon, I was at I went to my homecoming at the University of Georgia. Last time I was there was I think it was 2017. I mean, these girls, now this is on a college campus, right? These girls are walking around half naked at homecoming, right? When I was in school, that just they didn't do that. And I disagree, Brandon. These girls are off the chain.
It's the shame. The shame. There's no shame.
Yeah, Brandon. It's night.
Yeah, there's no
it's worse,
shame.
Brandon. There's no
And the
shame.
shame,
But guess what?
and the shame is toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
So if you do shame, it's like a double sword. It's
Right.
we're out here like the banjos, we out here looser than Grey Goose. But at the same time, if you put that on me, the shame, the insult, the hey, you need to be conservative, that's a violation of my freedom and my expression of my existence and my sexuality. And they'll have all these labels and terminologies that they got from the universities or from the media. But net across the board, they out here like the banjos. So Dynast is right. They're even more so out here. And then, of course, you have the other call of the women, which you're talking about, Brandon, are going to be more conservative, focused on a masculine role. But nevertheless, they do not oppose the other girls out here like the banjos. There is no negative behavior towards that or resentment or shaming, because that would be toxic masculinity or whatever other terminology they have in their fucking chamber.
Right.
Well, when you got the shadow sniper in the building to break everything down to the most simple form. I'm just gonna tell it what it is, because I got a college. My daughter is a sophomore in college, and when she was in high school, I used to pull up. Of course, I'm in the Charger with the beat in it with the rims. When I pull up at that to bring my daughter, food,
I'll end my session and then I'll come and get you.
She got the phone on mute. You get a whole conversation. The thing about it, when I pull up at my daughter's school to bring my daughter food, and these hood rats, these little young up and coming hood rats run up to the car with 6-inch heels on, because they can smell the crab bone, they can smell the crab legs, from juicy crabs, like, who is your daddy, with no shame. And I'm telling you, look, I'm a man, so I'm a look. I swear to white Jesus, I didn't see a pair of drawers on one of them in the crowd. You get what I'm saying? And they sit around here slanging crab leg juice and everything, sucking it from the claw. You get what I'm saying? Now this is high school. This is in high school. You know what I'm saying? When I went to go to my daughter down at the college, these girls will walk around with booty shorts on and a t-shirt covering the booty shorts. I don't understand it, but that's what's allowed. You get what I'm saying? Because they got this thing now that they call the slut walk, the slut shaming. You get what I'm saying? They even had a couple of simps that's raised up by single women out there holding up signs. You know what I'm saying? trying to support that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's what you call the new generation sexual revolution. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, they have no problem getting on OnlyFans, planning they coot the kente with a light pole. You know what I'm saying? They got they got colorful flashlights. You know what I'm saying? Planning they coot the kente for $5 and $10 for tips. You know what I'm saying? With their kids in the background, they buy their kids a PlayStation, give them all the games, sit them in the other room, and then that's it. They do not care. They do not care about their offspring. It's a selfishness, like the shadow sniper said. You know what I'm saying? Is that mystique, that manliness about them, that they don't even care what their child think. They don't care if another child seen their mama online bucket naked. They don't care. They don't care when the mamas coming up to the school with leggings on. You know what I'm saying? With the fuzzy slippers on. You get what I'm saying? Like at my daughter's school, they had to put a memorandum up. You know what I'm saying, for females, what they can wear and what they couldn't wear to come up there and see these kids. You shouldn't have to tell nobody that, you know what I'm saying? But, like me, I say rock out, because to me, it's just like going to a cattle, where you go and buy cattle at. You know what I'm saying? I just watch females walk around in a crowd, mooing like a cow, waiting for me to pick them up and take them to the slaughter. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm only gonna respect the type of female that shows respect. Now, the thing about it is, what I think is respectful is not what they think is respectful. So they see no problem walking around with fishnets on, you know what I'm saying, going to Dollar General. You know what I'm saying? They have no problem with that. So I have no problem with, if you're looking like a prostitute, I have no problem with making a donation. You know what I'm saying? Making an offer. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that when I go to my daughter college and I go on my job on Fulton Industrial, when I go on Metropolitan, where there ain't nothing but females out there selling that box for the LO, the girls at the college are dressed more skippier than the girls on the block selling that box. And that's just facts. And we see it all around Atlanta. When I go to my daughter's school, it's like Freak Meat 94.
Yeah. I want to say something about that. I agree with this gentleman, because I actually just hired my homeboys. My homeboy that lives in Mexico, we went to college together. I hired his daughter. She's 19. Very beautiful girl, but she's heavy set. And I don't know what to say to her, because she comes to my studio, which is also my place of business, titties out and everything. And she's a gorgeous young Jamaican girl. And the thing is, what do I say to her? Because my titties be out too, but we are not the same. It's like, I don't know what to tell her. And then one day we walked home together. I walked down the block, down to Fulton with her. And guess who's coming up the block? Some lady is giving her the ice grill. I'm like, who this lady staring at this young girl? It was mother. It was her mother. And her titties were out that day. And the mom never said anything. And I just felt like, shit, it's not my place to discipline her if her mom let her walk out like that. But now her father called me and said, Jackie, I need you to talk to her. And I said, sir, what am I supposed to say? She's 19. She's in college. She goes to the same school. I hired her. She's very good at the job. She's actually very good at this damn job.
She grown. You can't say nothing.
What am I supposed to say? And her mother's not saying nothing. I walked down the block. Her mother saw her titties out. She's not saying nothing. What am I supposed to say?
You said everything. When your titties was out, you told her it was okay.
Exactly.
Hey,
that's it. And look, I don't mind. I enjoy it. You know, I love it. Most of the dudes nowadays gay anyway, so it don't matter what you wear. I
asked her to walk to work, so at least she gets 2 miles of walk. She actually does it, and she's lost a lot of weight, and now she looks better. At least she could look better. But
I think also too.
I think she does it a mile and a half. Back and forth.
I think also too. That's another thing. Is I know I have a couple of friends who like out here. They like diving in the banjo. They like getting in the cat, and they put that over everything. They put that over investments. They put that over brotherhood. But I keep a close policy of I'm my brother's keeper. I know sometimes, even with my friends, close friends, that the relationship might get weak because of my position of being opposite of what they're living. But it's my job to be a brother's keeper. I gotta ask the question for the sisters: are you your sister's keeper? If you see a sister out there, she's not gonna listen to her mama anyways. That's the mama. She like, whatever, mom, stop hating on me. She's gonna look for other people outside the household, outside of the family, outside of the father, or outside of the mother. Somebody else who is like you, successful, also a business, so they can take advice from you. Like, you're a woman that I would like to emulate, and you're telling me, and I would listen to you. But my mom, she's always trying to tell me what the X, Y, and Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So I know that in circumstances, even if I don't know, I mean, Black moms all the time. They're married. They might even have a husband. But I still make sure that they put me in contact with the young Black boys. Why? Because I know they're prone to listen to me when they see me leading by example, one, and then also following that up with rhetoric and being able to support them. And even if I go against the grain of their current positions, they say, well, you know what? I might listen to you. So I think amongst the sisters, no different than what a KS says sometimes, is you have to start building that my sister's keeper. You must say something, because if you do not say anything, then the madness continues. I'll say something to Brandon real quick. Simp will say something to me real quick. Yo, bro, you simping. Why is he saying that to me? Because he hates me? No, because he wants me to put my behavior in check, or he sees something that is at flaw, and he has to be his brother's keeper. So I think the same needs to happen. If it doesn't happen, then you get the crazy type of chaos and anarchy that we got going on the other side. So we need to, of course, say something. Even if their parents are not saying it, that's their parents. It is your job also.
That's true.
Now, we definitely have to be real about the situation because no accountability. You get what I'm saying? Like, in her situation, it's not that black women don't know what to say. It's like black women don't like to be confrontational with other women. See, with men, it's always a thing to where I say what I say and I mean what I say, and we expect for a man to listen what we say with our logical ears on. You know what I'm saying? But most females, logic is not there. I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? Logic is not in the building. It's only in the building on my channel. So make sure y'all subscribe to the Silk Police Academy. I am Hustle Smart. But I had to plug that in there real quick, real smooth like. But the logic is not there. So anytime when you sit up here and listen to females talk about wedding, they got this big idea, this whole thing of how they want it to go. They don't think about cost. They don't think about preparations or everything. It's just what I want, what will make me happy. See, what men, we're more logical because men, we have to pay like we weigh. No matter if you small or you big, you know what I'm saying? We know that it's a cost to everything. So if I meet a female today, take her out, I'm already sitting here thinking like, okay, I got to take out, it's going to cost me at least $100 or $150 to smell the Kuta Kente. You get what I'm saying? So I just know that's what it is off the rip. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it don't cost me that much, I feel like I saved some money. But I really ain't saved nothing because I still have to spend some. All a female got to do is just show up with some leggings on, you know what I'm saying? And a top from the closest beauty supply shop she come across and some flip-flops, and a dude will spend the most. You know what I'm saying? That's what we know that we have to do. So when you put females in that position to where all they have to do is show up and look good, then you understand where logic does not play in their thought process. So even if you see another sister that's doing bad, or you think that she's going in the wrong direction, you'll just rationalize and won't say nothing to her, and she going up plight, and then you see her 3 years later when she got six kids, she still got on them same leggings, showing them same titties, but now she pushing them up with 3 or 4 sports bras and the little, what they call the little waist trainer, crushing her ribs and rearranging her bowels. You get what I'm saying? Now you sit up there and say, well, you know what? I knew, I had an idea. You know what I'm saying? But with men, we'll sit up there and say something to another brother out there doing something stupid. Hey, man, you know what? You need to get off the block, dog. Like, this ain't it. Or we'll try to tell him something over some street shit. Hey, man, look. I don't did it plenty of times. I don't see brothers out there at the store acting stupid. I'd be like, bruh, round the corner, man, it's like 4 or 5 police over there just sitting over there, dog. I don't know if they finna come up here and run up on y'all, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just telling y'all, it's 4 or 5 police out there, and they ain't over there talking about going to get no Krispy Kreme donuts. You know what I'm saying? So y'all want to be smart. Y'all get the hell on, come back, or y'all can be dumb and get to running like roaches, pulling up your pants when the police run up. See, that's the difference between men and females. See, females are in competition with each other. Older men are not in competition with younger men. You get what I'm saying? See, we don't have no problem. We don't have no problem if we go somewhere and we see younger men getting the baddest chicks in the spot. We feel like they supposed to get them. You get what I'm saying? Matter of fact, we're the older men. We'll get the little straggler, at the end, away from the pack. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to get the top notch female, but females are in competition for the top notch dude. And I always use my daughter as that example. It was like 4 or 5 guys at her school, and all of these females was after these same 4 or 5 guys. And I tried to explain to her, I said, if you got 40 feet, if each one of them guys is 4 guys and there's at least 40 to 50 females that like them, those females are going to be competing. Who can dress the sluttiest? Who can be the easiest? Who can laugh the most? You know what I'm saying? It's competition to get these guys' attention. So all the guy gonna do is sit back and knock them down. They're gonna do like the military. The military don't shoot the first person that coming at them. They shoot the last one. and work their way down, and then they do hand-to-hand combat, you know what I'm saying? And you put her in the figure four, and you know what I'm saying? Then you smash that coot to kente, and then you send her about her business because her service is no longer needed. And now she feel bad about herself. You know what I'm saying? And now she go back to the simp dude that been telling her everything she want to hear, and now she'll date him, but that's not who she really likes. She like Jarquavius on the four-wheeler, got to going down the road with no helmet on, with his gun falling out his pocket. That's who she really wants.
No
because if she, they don't wear no, bruh, they be running.
I live in Atlanta, so I know exactly what you're talking about. But hey, guys, we gotta do this. We gotta start closing out. So what we'll do, Sip, please, brother, thank you for joining. Hey, Sip, we'll have you back on tomorrow, bro.
Hey man, I got you. I had got your email, but I was up in the Caucasus mountain of Chattanooga, and you know what I'm saying, white people wouldn't let me be great that day, man.
Okay, all right. So I'll hit you back up tomorrow. Obstacles, opportunities. Go ahead and close out.
I'm going.
Okay, yeah. He said no helmet. So one of the things I wanted to end out on is this specifically, that, you know, I think also with the lack of accountability and are you going to be your sister's keeper? Going on that point is that I can understand and see the unity and the lack of quote unquote a lack of accountability, not checking or not stepping in other people's business. I believe that sometimes, you know, I think that women see it as, hey, we got each other, right? And a lot of time when men might speak their opinion, people are saying, who hurt you, right? So let's buy into the notion. A man comes into existence, he's been hurt at the age of 10, whatever. He's 30, right? So freaking, you know, 20 years later, he's been hurt and he's been, you know, toxic or whatever the case may be. Most women, in a good amount, let me say that, a good amount of women actually accept the narrative. Since the beginning of time, men have been oppressing them. They have been hurt since they think that they have existed on this planet. They have pain that stretches back to the beginning of time because they believe, from the feminist notion, that men have been oppressive since the beginning of time and they have always oppressed us. So trying to actually have a functional relationship with a majority or a good amount of women who believe that, it's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard. And you have to let that go because, one, that's not true. Most men have been simps since the beginning of time. But if we continue to build on something and we stop chasing, because Africa is not going to heal our pain. Africa is not going to heal the dysfunction. Africa is just a continent that's abundant with massive amounts of resources, and it could be our vehicle into power if we want it to be. We have to fix ourselves. As I mostly say, the problem is not Africa, the problem is Africans. And we have to figure out what that looks like and how do we move forward. I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything. I'm not King Negro, all right? I'm not better than Marcus Garvey. Nowhere close yet, right? And so with that being said, I admit that, and I'm looking to actually find solutions with everybody else. So we're going to turn a life from obstacles to opportunity. But no more of that talk of obstacles and we don't have the opportunity. The time is now. We have our own broadcasting systems. We have our own network. Right. Let's make them functional and let's build in many different ways and translate the message in many different ways. Brandon translated the way he does. I translated the way I does. And Simp Police, he translated the way he does. And we're going to speak to a massive amounts of audience and hopefully get the message across. But guess what? We control the narrative this time. So let's make sure we do it the right way. Much love, much respect. Africa for Africans all day. OAP.
All right, appreciate it. Hey, go ahead. Hold on. Go ahead, Black Beauty. Then we'll go to you, honey. Then we'll let you close our brand. Go ahead, Black Beauty.
Hey, yeah. I do want to say I am my sister's keeper, and I did speak to the young girl on behalf of her father, who is my homeboy, one of my good friends from college. But I also want to say that I do believe in allowing young people to experience and learn through experience. Eventually, she'll understand what it means to dress herself as a young lady. 19. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give her information and allow her to make her own decisions as the woman that she perceives herself to be. That does not mean that I'm not my sister's keeper, but it does mean that people have autonomy and they have free will. So ultimately, I think that the job of women when they're going to Africa is to maintain the standards. And if you don't have any, grow them before you go to Africa. And that would be all I say. I am a Black beauty. Love you guys.
Hey.
Honey, go ahead, honey.
Oh, hey, that was beautiful, Black Beauty. Princess Black Beauty. I appreciate that. I want to thank everybody, and I appreciate you, Dinas, Brandon, Black Beauty Opportunity, and Mr. Academy, Police Academy, everybody that was on today. It was a pleasure. And in regards to specifically to close it all out, I want to shout out to everyone in the chat room. Hun89, she was posting a lot of good thoughts, solid thoughts about, you know, every generation as far as like, you know, to sum up that whole issue, you know, what every generation misbehave, it seems like the next generation outdoes the previous generation. So maybe that's what we've come to. And it's in regards to Long Stroke Kwame making a killing off of sisters who return to Africa, you know, whatever benefits they're getting, including all the female goodies, the cookies, hopefully, you know, we can, you know, have things positive that comes out of it. Personally, for me, to all the ladies out there, you know, make, you know, sound, healthy, quality decisions if you are able to. You know, reach out to like sisters like, you know, myself or any other sisters that's trying to make that transition or will make that transition. And with what I think in mind of going, like the gentleman, Mr. Opportunity said, making, you know, being an asset, you know, to the continent of Africa. So hopefully we can all do that and get to that point. But again, major shout out to everyone in the chat room. They were giving great thoughts and their thoughts and how, you know, how we get to a place where it can be, you know, something healthy and healthy for Americans, Black American females and males, as well as our African, you know, brothers and sisters, all looking for love and to build. Because I'm looking for something meaningful, but also something that we can build an empire, because the goal is to build financial strength, you know, millions and millions of dollars to also help others as well. So that's where I'm gonna leave it. It's all yours, Brandon. Go ahead, Pan-African Strike Back.
Hey, yeah, so pretty much like Grandma said, it's gonna tell on you before you tell on it. I feel like a lot of what we do and say is really selfish in nature. It really, it's like, it's defensive and it's very short-sighted, right? If I say something and your immediate thought is he's a hater, there's one thing that's really going on. You're only thinking about how what I'm saying is offending you versus how, as opposed to how what I'm saying can help the future generations, right? There was a person, you know, when we were young, there was a lot of welfare being passed out, a lot of county checks for kids, right? You had one person who said, look, tell your kids if they're on the county, at least go to school so they can get a job if the county checks ain't coming no more. You had the other person say, oh, you a hater. You a hater. Oh, you think you better than somebody because you got a degree, right? Well, once the county checks stop coming and they got cut damn near in half, and you can't pay your rent with your county check no more, those people who was telling you to make sure you emphasize education to your children, even though they was giving out that free money, as my relatives would say, now they look very smart because that which the meal ticket you had ran out. So Black women, and I'll talk about Black women, but Black women, let's be real about what you guys got. In America, you got a full ride, a full pardon from accountability. You don't got to be accountable for nothing. You slap a dude in the face, he smack you back, he going to jail. You curse dude out, cause mom the B word, you know what I'm saying? He get pissed off and say, I'm going to knock you out. Oh, that's a terrorist threat, he going to jail. You guys got it very easy in America, very easy. Men line up all in your inbox, begging you to go out with them. But if you don't understand that that has, in a way, made you a detriment to yourself, that's how they got you. They said, oh, girl, you don't got to be responsible for nothing. and now all your men is going to marry their women, right? They told their women, you better go out there and get a degree and all this stuff, while they told you the only thing that matters is being pretty and having a weave, right? If you keep that mindset and you don't become self-aware and realize the things that have been put in place and put upon you to hold you back, and you take that mindset to Africa, within a generation, you'll have the same situation there as you do here. And I already see it even in Africa. A lot of African women are getting feminist minded, right? I talked to a girl the other day. She was like, when I was in Africa, she was like, yeah, I was dating this guy, and he told me he wanted me to cook and clean and all this stuff. And she was like, I don't want to do that. So I broke up with him. So you broke up with a successful dude because you don't want to do what the traditional job of a woman is in your society. Guess what? She's back in the village living with her parents, right? Because she has all these ideas. She's radicalized. But guess what? It usually takes time for the radical ideology to catch up with the times. And while it's catching up with the times, y'all getting older. While it's catching up with the times, y'all are losing relationships, right? And there's a lady, I think O'Shea Jackson just did a show about an old lady who was a feminist who tried to commit suicide because she said she's tired of being lonely. She's like in her 70s. O'Shea just did that show. Don't be that person. Don't be that person who allows all this radical thinking that hasn't caught up with the time yet. It might never catch up with the time to cause you to alienate yourself or put yourself in a position where you are undateable. You are unmarried. You are not suitable for marriage or even reproduction, because at the end of the day, you're going to want someone around. Just like a man, even I tell the red pill guys, look, bro, you could talk all day about women and women this, women that. At the end of the day, you're a man. You want a woman. You're best when the woman is by your side. You can have all the ideas, but when you're 75 and ain't nobody there to like wipe your butt, you're going to be wishing that you had your woman around you and vice versa. So that's all I want to tell people. Take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Don't be defensive, and just take what you can use and leave what you can.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you to the panel. Till next time, family. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru.
Thank you, Brandon. Black Beauty.
Peace.